What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Run the North podcast. I am here today, of course, with Miller Football and the Geek Slays. How we doing, boys?
Not great. My face is in pain. Like actual pain.
Did you cut yourself shaving?
No, but every time I shave, I have really sensitive skin.
He's a little bitch baby. Little bitch baby skin.
Okay.
Real men cut themselves shaving 4 times and walk it off.
Nah, see, I don't cut myself because I'm not bad. I actually have skills, Miller. I have developed skills. Mostly because shaving already hurts. So you gotta learn how to make it hurt less. Cutting yourself makes it hurt worse.
What are you doing to make it hurt?
Nothing. It just, after I shave, my entire face starts turning red, getting all bumpy, and it's just painful constantly for like 2 weeks.
Do you use aftershave?
Yep.
Do you apply the necessary creams and whatnot?
Yep.
Interesting.
Yep. My father has the same issue. It's just a thing. Yeah. It just hurts.
See,
so I'm you're never going to see clean shaven me ever again. I will bet you my left hand before I bet the beard again because this shit hurts. So I'd rather lose the hand.
It's funny you brought up your dad because me and my dad are the exact opposite. Like, we can shave without anything. Like, my most recent shave, we didn't have shaving cream, so I had to use fucking soap. And, it didn't bother me. I also cut myself 3 times. Didn't bother me. That's crazy, man. Skin's weird.
Skin is weird. It's very odd. It is very odd.
We got a lot of it.
That we do. Covers like the entire outside of our body. Yeah.
Can we please take a moment to admire the shirt? I'm very proud of this shirt.
Gonna be honest, on camera, it's just white with like black polka dots. You cannot tell.
Oh, it's got lizards.
It's lizards.
I love lizards.
You're a lizard
I own
guy?
A lizard.
Really?
I own a lizard. Yeah. You've never seen me tweet about him?
No.
Yeah, we got a leopard gecko. His name's Sid. He's a fucking G.
He's a fucking G.
He is.
Sure.
My sisters have this running joke that he runs the mafia, and I kind of believe it. So.
Is he a fullback truther?
Oh, absolutely.
Nah, fullback hater.
No, sir. Yeah, he worships Kyle Shanahan just as I do.
Speaking of fullbacks, did you see your boy on NFL Network before the Super Bowl?
Which one? There's a lot of my boys.
Mike Allstott.
No, I missed that completely.
Yeah, he did a whole segment with Rich Eisen. He was basically being Rich's bouncer. It was great. It was a whole thing.
That's awesome. I gotta go find that.
It was wonderful. I'm shocked. Look at that. The fullback truther didn't know what was going on with the fullbacks.
I don't have cable, so.
You pay for NFL Plus, dog. You can literally go watch NFL Network at any time.
Why would I choose to watch
It's just like
NFL
on
Network?
the Super Bowl day. Where can I watch this? I don't know. Open up the NFL app on your phone and click the play button, you goober.
I don't have it on my phone because my phone's stupid and doesn't have any storage left on it.
That sounds like a you problem, not a phone problem.
It is a me problem, absolutely.
Okay. Jake, how are you doing today?
I'm alive. That's it.
It's real.
That's
End of tweet.
End of tweet. Period.
But yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Why? Okay, good. Twitter's just stupid. Never mind.
Oh?
Yeah, Fields is trending, so I thought it was talking about Justin Fields, but it's not.
The 33rd team put out a mock draft. They're like, we're going to trade Justin Fields to Carolina.
Worth it. Valid.
No, the 33rd team is
No. But you'd get to see Justin Fields in the best uniforms in football, so that'd be
I already get to see him in the best uniforms in football.
Dude, you have the worst uniform in your division. That's not true.
No.
I hate the Packers uniforms, so you're at the bottom. The Packers are at the bottom.
Yeah, okay.
Packers don't have any cool jerseys. It makes me upset.
I'm glad you agree on that part. I get very annoyed arguing with Packers fans about their uniforms.
The all-white Color Rush ones were actually kind of okay, but
all white jerseys go hard no matter what.
Yeah, our like color rush ones were good, but like all these like throwbacks are trying to pull out. The last one was like the Oregon Ducks. The other one has like a maroon helmet for absolutely zero reason. The Acme ones are like
Well,
whatever.
it's supposed
They
to
have
be
history,
brown
but,
and like it's supposed to resemble the leather helmets back in the
See,
day.
I fuck with those because of that.
Right?
I'm a nerd. I love the NFL history aspect of it.
That's
I
valid.
hate
then
I
there's the one. What?
hate green and yellow as a combo though.
Same.
And there's the ones where like the yellow is the main color, and that's just rough. And yeah,
That's just rough.
Yeah, like genuinely speaking, your color scheme is that of baby shit.
yeah, I like their. I mean, like I like my Aaron Jones jersey, and I like the way it looks. It's just like
it's
they're,
basic,
like, basic.
and the color scheme isn't great. You know,
like
the
the
Panthers
Packers are
uniforms are going to
invested-
look good just because the colors are great.
The Packers are too invested in their history to be like every other team and change their uniforms every 3 years. So they're kind of just stuck in the same spot.
The Vikings have only changed their uniforms 4 times. Ever.
I was gonna say you can get
Packers
away
have
with
never
that
changed it.
mentality.
Ever.
It's just the green base colors suck.
That doesn't help them. And they're too traditional. Even when they put out new uniforms, they look exactly the same.
Yeah.
No, we changed up the G, and then on the sleeve, instead of it being white, yellow, it's yellow, white, yellow, white. It's like, dog, that's the same thing.
I will say I did choose my favorite hockey and basketball teams based on when I was a kid, based on how cool their colors were.
I wish
So
I
do
would have
see
done that in my life. Just picked based off colors. I would have
the
won.
Packers. The Packers. I have an actual reason for liking them instead of just liking the Bills from Western New York. But like every other team, I was just like cool color, uniform, cool, and now I actually like them. But
Yeah.
It's valid.
because I'm from New York and I'm a San Jose Sharks fan. There's only one explanation for that. That is because color cool.
I guess life would suck just as hard if I would have picked based off that, though. My favorite NFL team would probably be the Panthers, and that'd be tough. That'd be a tough place to live.
You'd be loving life right now, though, if you were a Panthers fan.
You'd have gone to more Super Bowls in the past decade than
It's valid.
Vikings have. So,
I mean, yeah, the Panthers have gone to more Super Bowls than all 3 of our teams combined in the last decade. So,
Yeah,
you're right.
The entire NFC North, actually.
It's about
Not
30
even
years.
close.
I was gonna say, do you really have to throw that in though? Because you're only leaving out the Lions.
That's
and,
valid, but like it's important. You got to be inclusive, Miller. Fuck. Sorry.
We couldn't find a Lions fan if you couldn't tell. That's why there's only 3 of us.
Because
Yeah, if
I
we're gonna
only
bring up the
know of
Lions-
one.
I don't think I know of any. That's not true. I know a couple from my podcast.
You
but,
also
like,
know the
I
guy on
talked to them
TikTok with the
twice.
long hair, always posting QB room
Oh,
videos
well,
and shit.
yeah. I
Yeah.
thought you meant like no, like
Oh,
on a personal level. I gotcha. Yeah, that's different. But I was gonna say, while we're bringing up the Lions, let's acknowledge that they have the best uniforms in our division because they do.
Nope.
If you think it's Minnesota, you're fucking stupid.
It is Minnesota, and it
No,
can't
it's
be the
not.
Lions. The Lions decided to make their uniforms worse. I'm no longer giving them the #1 spot. Go back to
love
the
the
black
Lions
accents,
uniforms.
you fucking
The
losers.
I
all-
love the silver.
Go back
love
to the
the
black
silver goes so
accents.
hard.
I love
You gotta
the
have
silver.
silver, but it
All
shouldn't be
silver,
silver
silver.
helmet, silver face mask. No, black. Add black
Okay,
accents
change
back to the
face mask
jerseys.
a little bit,
Go
sure.
back to where you were. No, they chose to make their uniforms worse. While the Vikings chose to go from the worst uniforms they've ever had to the best ones they've ever had. Therefore, Vikings get to be #1. That's how that works. You don't get to make
don't
your
know.
shit worse and then still say you're the best. That's not.
I just don't like Minnesota's colors either. I'm not a big yellow guy.
It's not yellow.
It's
Gold.
yellow.
It's
It
gold,
shows
you
up
bitch.
as yellow. It's yellow. Jake, back me up. It's yellow.
All right, Mr. Blue and Brown.
The Vikings colors.
It's very clearly orange.
It's
Orange is
yellow.
just light brown. So,
No, it's very clearly orange.
Nope.
You're just mad.
nope.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's literally the same color as the Browns helmet. So, I don't know,
and
dog.
the Browns use orange as their primary color.
Nope. Because orange
is
is just brown.
Stupidest debate we've ever had.
Yes, it
This
is.
is the worst. This is worse than Ham versus Ricard, man.
Welcome to Run the North, ladies and gentlemen.
Orange is better than yellow. It's a fact.
I'll go to Run the North. There was a football game this past weekend. Actually, one of the bigger.
Yeah, speaking of yellow, there was a football team.
There was a football team that had yellow that won the Super Bowl, and we've transitioned. Super Bowl happened this past weekend. Eagles, Chiefs. Say what you will about it. One of the better Super Bowls we've had in the past. I don't even know how long, honestly. Very, very good game. Very clean game. No interceptions. A couple of turnovers, but no interceptions. Very clean game from both quarterbacks. My big takeaway from this thing is Jalen Hurts is the guy. Pay that man a lot of money and do not hesitate to do so. And do not, as some people on Twitter are saying, draft a quarterback with the 10th overall pick and expect that people will be okay with that.
Okay, but maybe that's the Eagles' strategy now, because it's worked twice. Right? You have the guy, right? You get to or you win a Super Bowl while that guy's on his rookie deal. Instead of extending him like you did Wentz, you just say, fuck you, and you go again. You pick a new guy, and you just keep doing it that way. That way you can always have the best roster in football.
This man is so unserious.
Forever. How is that unserious? That is literally the strategy. What teams win Super Bowls paying their quarterback a ton of money? Chiefs don't count. Mahomes is not human. He's not a real human. He's not. He's not of this planet.
If you really think that any of the quarterbacks in this class are going to be anywhere near Jalen Hurts' level anytime in the next few years, you're dead wrong. I don't care who it is.
No, that's
I wouldn't go that
incorrect.
Anthony Richardson, I'm not going to give him that title.
Bryce Young could, CJ Stroud could, and Levis could.
Pause here for 1 second. I need to ask Miller a question. Where are you putting Anthony Richardson right now if you had to rank him in this quarterback?
I have no idea. I've only watched one quarterback.
So he's at 1.
Tell me right now.
There you go. Technically speaking, he's QB1 because he's the only one I've watched.
He is 2 right now for me. 2 behind.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna watch Bryce Young after we hop off here. I meant to do it earlier, but I got swamped with homework.
I've watched the top 4 guys, but my next guy is Max Dugan. I'm excited to watch Max Dugan.
I've watched Bijan Robinson. He's number 1 on my big board right now because my big board only contains Bijan Robinson.
Jalen Carter will enter the chat very soon, but yeah.
Yeah, and listen, that's the fucking thing about Jalen Carter, okay? I haven't actually watched his tape yet, but just from watching Richardson play Georgia, I can tell it's going to be the most fun experience of my life. Like, I tweeted that asshole kept throwing people when I'm trying to sit here and watch the quarterback. It was so unfair.
Actually,
and he was up against Osiris Torrance, too.
Oh, yeah.
It was like
he was hooping
in the class, yeah.
I don't know. Devon Witherspoon might also. That's his name, right? The corner.
Yeah,
he might be one of the most fun to watch.
That guy is the truth.
I'm a sucker for D linemen, personally.
I'm a sucker for the literal hardest position in sports: corner.
Fullback.
Corner.
Me too. Fullback. Me too.
Fullback. Your job is either carry the football run or, hey, you're blocking for this guy. Go lay anyone who gets in your way the fuck out. Say, aye, dog.
Okay, maybe not the hardest, but the most fun.
Yeah, I said the hardest, you dipshit.
Same thing.
You don't just get to give the fullbacks everything. I'm sorry.
Yes, I do. I can and I will.
You can't and you won't.
We have a way to rope fullbacks right back into what we're actually talking about. Because Michael Burton plays for the Chiefs. And they have a fullback. He played 1 snap. Anywho,
1 snap on offense.
Let's talk about this game a bit. I kind of gave my piece. Hurts is the truth. I mean, I'm gonna be real with you guys. Did not watch this game too closely. I was invested in other things. But like Hurts, like 370 total yards and 4 touchdowns in his first Super Bowl appearance. That is very, 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 very good. And the Eagles, the story is really their defense for me, man. I mean, Kadarius Toney and Sky Moore both just had the easy touchdowns of their lives in the red zone, which is a defense that's supposed to be very good at that. But Andy Reid was cooking, and so yeah. What are our thoughts, boys? Did we expect this game to go this way? I know one of us did, but yeah.
Go ahead, Miller. Just take it.
So as Jake pointed out, I was the only one out of this group of three that had any sort of faith in the Kansas City Chiefs. I will say, the game didn't quite go how I expected. The Eagles' defense, specifically their defensive line, was not quite up to the standard that I was holding them at. I thought they would have a much bigger game, especially given the Chiefs' tackle play. But, blame it on the field or whatever you want to say, they were locked up. They had them in Alcatraz for the majority of the game. I don't think Mahomes got hit or he did get sacked once. I don't remember if he got hit, but I know Orlando Brown looked good, which is an anomaly, and the interior of the offensive line held up, which was big. The biggest thing in this game, I said going in, was going to be the trenches and how the Chiefs were able to control them, especially on offense, given what we saw, in the Super Bowl a few years back against Tampa Bay. Mahomes' record and numbers when under pressure and getting hit so many times, et cetera, and they were able to keep that under wraps, and that was huge for Mahomes. They kept him clean, apart from that one run where he did tweak his ankle, and I tweeted out it was Mahover because I was really scared. It was when the Eagles were up 10 or 14 or something in the second quarter, and it looked bad. But then he came back out. They shot him with whatever painkillers, and he torched the second half. Had a massive run in the second half, which running like that on a high ankle sprain is insane. I'm not fully convinced this man is a human being at this point.
Pretty good at football.
Can I just say that?
I know you did, but I said it in a different way, okay? It's not like that's a hot take. We all know Mahomes is inhuman. And that was huge. Obviously, they were able to run the ball pretty decently as well, which I said was going to be a big thing for them as well, because Isaiah Pacheco is the third best pure runner in the AFC West. He is Himothy. Like you said, Kadarius Toney was a big contributor, which was awesome. Love Kadarius Toney. That punt return was sick. The vision he had to completely cut that back the other way when he saw a wall of defenders or a wall of blockers out of the corner of his eye, almost took it to the house, fought a little bit at the end. And then it was on some Tariq Cohen shit. Tariq Cohen versus the 49ers, if y'all remember that return. Absolutely magical return. He actually scored, though, so Cohen's was better. But, it was...
No, Kadarius Toney's is the longest punt return in Super Bowl history. Therefore, his is better. Also,
kind of crazy.
Kadarius Toney, does that make him better than Devin Hester now? Is that how that works?
Devin Hester's the only player in NFL history to return the opening kickoff for a touchdown. Suck my nuts. They do not compare. Anyways, I just loved everything I saw from the Chiefs. And then looking at the defense, Nick Bolton was a fucking man on a mission.
The internet cutting out. You hate to see it, but you also love to see it.
I'm going to assume he was going to say he was a demon, because he was.
I don't know.
Nick Bolton was a demon.
I'm going to say, I said...
I said, gone.
Process of my internet cutting out that he was robbed.
He was robbed of Super Bowl MVP.
Robbed of Super Bowl MVP. Got it.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I think if he...
Jake's internet is selling.
Yeah. If he scores that second touchdown, he wins it. Absolutely wins it. I still think that should have been a fumble. But, NFL catch rules are poopy. Technically by rule. Yeah. I think we all have been. The NFL catch rules are always a big point of conversation.
Most people only care when it is their team getting affected by them. Otherwise, they don't give a shit.
Okay, you're
That's
right.
Genuinely
You're
it.
right.
I've been screaming about it every time I see a catch get no called that makes no sense. That's sorry. Fair. If a receiver dives for a ball, like the Devonta Smith catch against the 49ers, I'm going back.
No
this is fucked
Jake.
up, but all right. No, he catches it, takes multiple steps, goes to the ground. The ball barely moves. You have to slow it down to 1 frame a second. Yeah. It moves an inch. That's got to be incomplete. No, that's a fucking catch. Stop this.
True Lock is top 32.
No. Using...
Oh, I heard it. Okay. All right,
using... Yikes, that fucked up my head. Now all I can think about is yelling at Jake. But no, slowing the video down to where you're seeing the ball moves a fraction of an inch for a fraction of a frame. Stop that. If it looks like a catch, call it a fucking catch. Just full speed review those. You don't need to slow those down. Now, if you're trying to see if he got his feet in bounds, sure.
Different.
Slow that the fuck down. Pause it. Don't care. Yeah. But to see if the ball moved, the ball's always going to move. Have you ever caught a football?
Right.
Like, that's kind of what happens. Like, even when guys will, like, catch it and then go to take off running, it moves. Catch rules are shit. I don't know which answer that should have been, because I don't know, with the way I'm thinking of the rules, I don't know how that would go. I'm going to be honest, didn't even see the play. Never saw it on Twitter either.
Caught the ball, turned, and made a move, and the ball got stripped while he was making that move. I think that's a catch.
But also, by the rule, it's not. I get why it's a bitchy thing. Yeah, okay. I'm seeing you. I'm seeing you. That sounds stupid.
Like you said, if you have possession of the ball and are able to move your body to make a football move, so to speak, that should be a catch. And it robbed us of a defensive.
Not, we should just make the rule the 2 feet down rule type thing. If you catch it, you get both feet down. That's a catch. Just make it the same as on the sideline.
Yeah, not against that either. Yeah, I mean, overall, Chiefs were hooping, especially in that second half. The defense had some juice. Michael Burton got a snap. Jerick McKinnon was playing some fucking fullback and actually, like, was hooping as a runner at fullback.
I feel so bad for Jerick McKinnon right now.
Yeah.
Dude could have spent the rest of his life telling his children, his grandchildren, about that time he scored the winning touchdown in a Super Bowl. You know, the moment you dream of since you were a kid. Instead, he took a knee and sacrificed that moment for a better chance for his team to win.
That's a team player right there.
Jerick McKinnon, former Viking, the real MVP of the Super Bowl.
And Michael Burton, former Bear, real MVP of the Super Bowl.
Nah, because McKinnon played more than one snap. Did Marquez Valdez-Scantling even go on the field?
He didn't
do anything. Yeah.
He had 0 catches. I'm just glad he's a champ. I don't care what he did done if he did. That's valid. I'm so happy that guy's a champ. Anywho, yeah, I mean, a lot of this is the fact that, like, Sirianni just can't hang with the big dogs. Let's be completely honest with ourselves.
We're not giving this against Sirianni. We're not doing that. We're not starting a narrative.
I don't think he was fantastic in this game. I don't think it's fair to say that he
got outcoached by Andy fucking Reid.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Guess what? Belichick gets outcoached by Andy Reid every time.
Yeah.
Andy Reid is legitimately a top 5 coach of all time.
I would argue top 3.
Sure.
He's bordering on top 3.
But and Sirianni also doesn't call the defense. And what screwed this game? The defense. Their offense did whatever they wanted.
Don't stop taking away our content for later in the episode. Don't talk about Jonathan Gannon. Let it be.
No, it's important at this exact moment because we have to preface it with how bad Gannon was in this game.
I also will say, and I watched a video on this about, like, the motion stuff the Chiefs did in the red zone that the Eagles just for some reason cannot stop. Like the Jags did it earlier in the season to them. Like, for some reason they just can't stop this motion play, and they did it twice, and the Eagles defense just did not adjust to it whatsoever. And they just ran it to the other side with a different player the second time.
Well,
and like.
It's I mean that's the whole point of the play. It's a really well designed motion where you fake a jet sweep, stop at the line of scrimmage. Travis Kelce absorbs literally all of the attention. Like, if you go back and watch the play, 3 defenders stare down Travis Kelce on both plays while the other dude just seeps out into the flat and gets wide open. And you do that with a shifty little playmaker, that's a money play. That is straight up. First of all, shout out Doug Peterson for running that this year. I don't know if he's the one who drew it up or came up with it, but that's the first time I'd ever seen it. And that's where the Chiefs got it from, was Doug Peterson running it earlier in the year. That was just a perfect play. Like, yeah, the defense should be able to cover it, but it's not something you're expecting. How often do you see a fake jet sweep where the guy stops mid-sweep and cuts it back outside? It's awesome. It was an awesome play call.
Yeah. It really was, and that's what it came down to. It was Eric Bieniemy and Andy Reid are just better than Gannon completely. He couldn't find an answer for anything they did. But even if he could have, they were already 10 steps ahead. It wouldn't have mattered. Like, the real thing, as much as even I was one of the people talking about the penalty, because that is how the season finished. That did impact the game. You know what else impacted the game? I don't know. Maybe you could have stopped the Chiefs from scoring 5 times in the second half. Maybe. That's a thought. You could have tried getting a stop. That would have been something. But it's just so bad.
I mean, Gannon was falling apart in the first half, too. Travis Kelce had nobody on him for the first, quarter and a half of the game, which...
I think his strategy was, fuck it, we're manning everybody up and we're going to let Kelce beat us, which...
Yeah. Dumbest idea in the world.
Dude, I want to play the Eagles again if that's their strategy. Fuck it, we're going to man everybody else up. We're going to let JJ beat us. All right, dog, I want to watch. I want to watch that with any team with a star player like that. Feels bad. The Bears don't have that guy yet.
Yeah, we do. We got Mapletron, baby.
What?
You've never heard him called Mapletron?
No.
You know who I'm referring to?
No.
Chase Claypool.
Dude, if Chase Claypool, for the first time in 6 years, decides to look like a competent NFL player, I'll be impressed. Hasn't looked like it since 4 weeks into his rookie year. He's not even going to get on the field.
Yeah, he will.
No, because Mooney's going to be on the field. I'm pretty sure the Bears have already decided Equanimous St. Brown is better because, let's trade a second for Claypool and give him a total of 12 snaps. He got there, and immediately the Bears went, oh, he's not good.
He got there, didn't learn the playbook, and then got hurt.
Didn't learn the playbook. So it sounds like he's being lazy, which has been a criticism of him.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a great excuse, but at least it's not like he walked in there and they're like, oh, he's not good at this. It's just like, oh, he's not up to speed yet.
Which is worse. I'd rather he was just not good. Maybe we could teach you. You can't fix lazy. You can't.
I don't know. We'll see.
Especially 6 years in. It's a little late.
I don't care. I got faith in him.
But also, when you draft JSN at number 1 overall, yeah.
They don't.
That's all the faith I have in polls right now.
Why?
I don't know, because it's fun to hate.
Okay. Anyways, what were we even talking about?
The Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah. Well, the Eagles not guarding Travis Kelce.
Oh, yeah.
We talked about it when it was just me and you last week. That they have guys that could have at least kind of kept up with Kelce. They have versatile defensive pieces. They just didn't do it. They just didn't do anything. It was, I don't know, weird strategy by Jonathan Gannon in the first half. And then in the second half, he kind of keyed in on Kelce, and that ended up biting him in the ass. So, bad defensive coordinator. TBH.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, it just...
No, Jake, you are fine. He was laughing at me.
Yeah,
the face I made. No, you were talking perfectly clear. Yeah. I just read the dumbest shit. But we will get to it way after the Super Bowl because this is not relevant at all.
Okay.
Sorry, Jake.
Anyway, yeah. I want to talk more about this whole Hurts narrative thing because I'm very frustrated by the fact that people think this is his fault. I want to take you guys through a little adventure that I had today on Giants Twitter, which would not recommend if you were ever planning on going.
Why would you ever go to Giants Twitter?
After we played them, they're awful. Like the first time when we beat them, it was stupid. So no.
The original tweet is, but bottom line is this fumble cost them the game. What everyone should be saying after they praise the Eagles QB for his quote MVP performance. And then I said he had 370 total yards and 4 touchdowns in this game. If you think that fumble was the thing that cost him the game and not the red zone defense, you're flat out biased. to be fair, yes. And they were just like, who cares? He still fumbled the ball, resulting 7 for the Chiefs. Without that 7, would the Chiefs have won? I was like, without the 14 that the Eagles defense gave up, would the Chiefs have won? No. I mean, it's just like, it's ridiculous. Like, people will find a way to hate on whatever quarterback loses a game no matter what. I mean, that's just how it works. But Hurts threw no picks. The fumble, very weird. He just kind of dropped the football. Like that doesn't that. But it happens to every Mahomes did it in the freaking week before against the Bengals. He just dropped the football. It's just
Josh Allen does it like 3 times a year.
Like Jalen Hurts can, and that's not like Jalen Hurts can control whether or not his team picks up the ball or makes a tackle on the guy who picked up the ball. Like, yes, he fumbled the football, but they put up 35 points. His offense was so good in this game, and it's just like. You just got outscored, and like I get that it's like, oh well, if he hadn't fumbled and the Chiefs had scored 14, they would have won still. I'm just like, bro, come on, like Hurts,
if you put up 35 points in any game,
you should win it.
The loss isn't on the offense.
That's
a defensive problem. It's the same thing we've argued with Rodgers forever. Because that's like the thing that always happens to him is it's like he averages 42 in the playoffs. It's not his fault. You can only do so much as an offensive player. It's the same thing that happened with Kirk in the Giants game. Or this just keeps happening. They do everything they can to win, but because you don't, it's obviously your fault. Can't blame the defense. No. Like, the defense lost them the game. With Jalen Hurts was undoubtedly the best player in this game for either team. And you could tell watching the game, you knew, like, dude, this guy's going to do something fucking nuts. And he did every play.
Yeah. And like, his rushing ability is just, it's so good. And like that 4th down run he had, like super clutch. And like, sure, you can say, oh, well, that turnover-worthy play and the throw to A.J. Brown. That ball, if it's anywhere else...
That was a perfect throw.
Immediately. And A.J. Brown did a good job of absolutely dogging Trent McDuffie on the pump fake and whatever that he did. But still, like, if that ball is anywhere else, it lands in McDuffie's lap. So, like, it doesn't even matter if A.J. Brown's pump him because he's just going to have to catch, like, a punt. You know, it's just like... Mahomes was good in this game, and like it wasn't like his usual Mahomes, like, wow, he's like just threw for 450 yards, but like I think Jalen Hurts played better than Patrick Mahomes did. Yeah. I think that's I don't want to be like a stat line watcher here, but I'm pretty sure based on what I saw, he played a better football game. It's just the Eagles defense, the one thing that was supposed to be like, hey, this defense can stop anybody.
Individual performance, it was Jalen. The Chiefs and Mahomes, it was not an individual player taking the game over. It was perfect scheming, and all Mahomes had to do was just find the open guy and not miss. Like, I know he had a few insane plays because he's Mahomes, and that's what he does. I'm not taking anything away from him. It's the weird thing. We can prop up one guy in Jalen Hurts without putting down somebody else. This isn't to say Mahomes was bad, but Jalen Hurts was incredible.
I mean, the dude came out and tied the record for most rushing touchdowns by a player in the Super Bowl, not just by a quarterback, by a player. Him and Terrell Davis have now both scored rushing touchdowns 3 times in the Super Bowl. Add that on top of 300 passing yards, a sick throw to A.J. Brown. Like, he was hooping. He was
throwing dimes all over the place.
Yeah.
I forget which. There was one Goddard catch. That was a good catch, too, by Goddard, but also the throw was just...
Yeah.
The sideline play.
That was the one, yeah. And again, like we talked about earlier, like they probably should have had 2 fumbled for a touchdown. Like the Chiefs defense played very well in this game despite giving up 35 points. There were still kind of flashy moments from them, and they kept up with to the most. I mean, it just It's exactly what we wanted this game to be. You know, just back and forth shootout, clean game from both the quarterbacks, and high scoring affair. Couldn't have asked for much better. In the end, you know, it's hard to overcome Andy Reid. It's hard to overcome guys like him.
Yeah.
Like he will find a way. However good your roster is, he will find a way to exploit it, and he will find a way to beat you. And honestly, as long as Mahomes and Andy Reid are there, I don't know. Like, I don't know where you guys had them, but so many people had the Chiefs finishing like third or fourth in this division this year, and like
I had them winning it from the start. They're the fucking Chiefs.
I definitely don't think I had them winning
I had them in second and in the playoffs. I had the Chargers over them, but I had them in the playoffs.
I will say I had it close between the Chiefs and the Chargers. I went back and forth during the offseason, but I ended up favoring the Chiefs primarily because of Andy Reid. The coaching advantage that the Chiefs had. Yeah.
The fact that they won it this year with all the narratives around them and Tyreek Hill and like how the division was getting so much better and they still just completely I'm pretty sure they didn't lose a divisional game this year, did they? I don't think so.
Not to my knowledge.
They went 6-0 in the division.
They beat the Chargers twice, beat the Broncos. Yeah.
They went 6-0 in the division, won the Super Bowl, and beat two of the best teams in football, two of the most complete rosters in football. So
no Geek's thinking.
No, I don't know. My brain's broken, so I'm double checking that because I swear they lost to somebody.
Maybe they did. I don't know.
The Broncos beat them in Week 18.
Did they?
Was that the Russell Wilson masterclass game? Was that the Chargers that they played in Week 18?
So the Broncos made it close. It was a 27-24 game. It was Week 17. Yeah. When Russ finally kind of started to look like he might maybe still be Russ.
Yeah.
Once Hackett was gone and he finally like calmed the fuck down. That's really what it feels like. Is Russ just like recentered, and it was he almost looked right at the end of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I had the Chiefs going 12-5. So
I think I had them somewhere around there. I want to ask you guys a question real quick because I'm seeing a lot of dialogue around a certain Eagles' favorite play, QB sneak.
Yes.
Do we think that the NFL is seriously going to try to nerf it, as in banning the like coming up behind the quarterback and shoving him across the line of scrimmage type thing?
Probably.
I think it'll probably end up getting banned. That's my take. Not that I'm not saying that that's the right decision. I'm saying that's probably the decision they're going to make. I think that the Eagles, the way they used it in this game on like this big of a stage and like just completely abused it, I think the owners are going to look at that in the meeting and be like, I don't know.
And I think that's so stupid.
It is so stupid. But
because
this is,
look at what
this is not a group of people who has proven to us that they won't make a stupid decision. So why wouldn't they ban it? They're going to see this and be like, overpowered, too good.
Okay, but what about the Chiefs play with that motion then? We got to ban it, right?
Right.
The fake jet sweep, we got to ban it, right? If that's what we're doing. I think that would be
We had
ridiculous.
to ban play action pass because linebackers bite on it too much.
Oh God!
Like
then cut Kirk Cousins. That's all he's good at.
Yeah.
Oh God!
Like literally,
that's
it's like you can point to a number of plays teams use.
Yeah, and that's just football. Every year something becomes the meta. You know, you look at 1985, the 46 defense in Chicago. Nobody could stop it, and then Dan Marino was like, "Hey, if we just threw slants."
What if I just threw slants?
And it's also
literally, and that's what happened. That's how the 46 defense got beat. Was Dan Marino dotted them up in the quick game, and nobody else could do it. That was the problem. Nobody else could get the ball out quick enough. And then the next year, teams started to scheme against it, and they started to not run it. Or the Wildcat, the early 2000s, people figured out how to stop it. The QB sneak's just the same thing. Just figure out a way to get to the fucking quarterback quicker.
It's also
like send your defenders
the
over
only
top.
team that's that good at the QB sneak is the Eagles, and it's probably because they have one of the 5 best offensive lines ever.
I was just gonna say that.
How many times?
Literally, it is not like every team in the NFL could run this exact same play and have it work as much as the Eagles does. If you lined up the Atlanta Falcons with Marcus Mariota and you tried that, it's not going to work because the Eagles are just bigger and stronger than like 95% of the defensive lines in football, and it's just you're going to get beat by that.
Look at the
Jalen Hurts squats like 600 pounds.
Yeah,
that dude is a monster.
But go back to the game of the year. the game of the regular season. I'm sure people want to argue that now. The
'cause
Vikings
Josh
Bills
Allen
game.
fumbled, right?
Yeah, well, no, Kirk got stopped on the half-inch line twice on QB sneaks.
Yeah,
That's
you
why
stop
the Bills
this
got
play.
it there, and they immediately got stopped. We watched 3
I
stops on a
guarantee
QB
you-
sneak in 3
Yeah.
plays.
I guarantee you the Eagles. It was probably a high success rate, but I guarantee it wasn't a 100% success rate for them.
No,
with this
it
play.
was
They-
92%.
guarantee you
Like,
that-
it was
yeah, it's
actually 92. The
Right,
joke
like
Jason
92%.
makes.
Yeah, and that it's just like, like the Packers could not have done that this
No.
year. The Vikings could not have done that this year.
No.
The Bears could not. No, who could have done this year besides the Eagles? Anybody? Maybe like the Lions
Lions,
have a good
maybe?
offensive
The Chiefs
line,
could.
and they have.
Chiefs could with
And,
how good
like,
their
Because their
interior
Chiefs probably
interior
could.
O-line is so good.
Yeah. But
And,
see,
like-
it's not even just the talent of the guys that Philly has, but they know how to run it so well. You see how quickly they get up out of their
Yeah,
stance,
that's
how
true.
quickly Jason Kelsey is like in somebody's kneecap for Hurts to jump over top of them.
'Cause they
not
all have,
every
like-
team. Yeah.
They're all like
even-
high IQ guys.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
Right, exactly. Him, Sayamalu, and Dickerson are all really, really smart interior linemen, and they get down quick. They know where they need to hit, and that allows Hurts, who, like you mentioned, Jay squats 600 fucking pounds, to use his massive calves to get up over top of them and fight. And then on top of that, you'll have somebody come in and push him from behind. It's just that the Eagles are a fucking perfectly well-oiled machine, not only in the run game, but just in that little sliver of the center of the field.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it would be absolutely ridiculous
I
to go out
do
and ban
think
the
I
QB
could
sneak.
see them banning the push from
Push from
behind. though.
behind.
100%.
Yes.
And I still think that would be goofy.
I still
So
think
do
that's
I.
stupid.
But
No.
Yeah.
I think that happens because the
Yeah, I
NFL
mean, they're
did
not
it
gonna
last
outright
year with
ban
the
the QB
overtime
sneak.
rule. They changed it because some fan base got all butthurt.
Yeah.
And guess what? Even with the new overtime rule, the Bills still
kind of the
lose
same
that
thing.
game.
Yeah.
They just get to score one extra time. That's it.
They
Nothing
get
would
to
have
put their guys in
changed.
jeopardy for longer.
Yeah. It's
Mhm.
one of those things. If you're in a game like that, which is the only game that would ever matter where the offenses just can't be stopped, no matter what you do to the overtime rule, it's not going to change anything because the defenses
Yeah.
can't get a stop. It's
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that was the big complaint that I had with the overtime rule last year. Was the Bills had arguably the best defense in football during the regular season. Granted, they were a little bit banged up by the time they got
Don't
to that
care.
point, but yeah, it's still fucking 33% of football. You got to be able to get that
and
stop.
fuck, you wouldn't have even had to worry about overtime if your defense could have stopped them. 13 seconds. Josh Allen left Mahomes 13 seconds.
Yeah.
Mahomes shouldn't have been able to do that if your defense was even competent. That's
No.
awful. Everyone's finally seeing why Leslie Frazier's not that good. He can scheme up a great defense, but it's too conservative. It's pretty great. There's a reason
Yeah.
I'm glad he left Minnesota when he did.
Don't be mean to Leslie Frazier.
Speaking-
I
He
will.
was a
Okay,
bear
hey,
at one time.
speaking-
He's a great man.
Speaking of defensive
Terrible.
coordinators, I think we also need to give some flowers to Steve Spagnuolo because he
Oh my
adjusted
God.
pretty well after halftime,
Mhm.
and he's a pretty big meme. If you follow people on Chiefs Twitter, people are like, "Get this man off my team, fire this dude."
Ridiculous.
Because
but,
they have-
how many points did the Eagles score in the second half? Only like
11.
14 after scoring 11. So they scored 11 points after coming out and just destroying them in the first half. Steve Spagnuolo, as much as you want to hate on him for whatever happened in the regular season or whatever, which again I think he gets too much heat. Anyway, literally, like the fact that you're able to adjust that well against the best offense in football. I mean, you want to talk about defensive coordinators and how bad Jonathan Gannon was in this game. Steve Spagnuolo kind of was in his bag at the end of this thing, and yeah,
Spags
that
is
coaching
awesome.
staff is ridiculous. Yeah, that coaching staff is ridiculous.
Yeah. I like how creative Spags blitzes are, which we saw on full display this week. Even in the first half, we saw a little bit of it, but more so in the second half. Me and Geek last week talked about how aggressive he is as a play caller and as a defensive mind, and something else that was on full display. Guys were flying to the ball immediately. Nick Bolton obviously being the prime example of that, but also guys like George Karlaftis were getting into plays. Leo Chenal, there was one play that, oh my God, I want to sit for Leo Chenal for a second, okay? That one play It was like in the first half, where it was it was some sort of interior run. I can't remember exactly what it was, but the Eagles ran the ball up the middle, and Leo Chenal was there. Just as soon as the running back got the ball in his hands, Chenal was there, and it was fucking glorious because me and Geek both love this dude. He is my favorite young linebacker in football, not named Jack Sanborn. That Wisconsin duo is a thing of beauty, and they're both. I mean, Sanborn played awesome for Chicago. Chenal didn't get a ton of opportunities for the Chiefs, but did as the season went on and started to, make the most of them as time went on. And that play in the Super Bowl is one that's going to pop up on tape for the coaches and be like, holy shit, this kid's a fucking menace.
The Chiefs' defensive rookies, man, they're a big part of this playoff run. Yeah, big part of this. The rookie class, man. I mean, Sky Moore had the big punt return against the Bengals, and he had the touchdown in this game. I mean, this draft class could end up being pretty special for them, and that's the crazy part is that they just won the Super Bowl, and they have a bunch of untapped potential still in a bunch of different places. And they have like 7 or 8 picks this year. Yeah, 7 or 8 picks. The Mahomes contract isn't really like the worst. Like it could be a lot worse. They did a really good job of spreading out the money. I mean, I don't really know what they're going to do in free agency, what they need to do in free agency. If we want to kind of move into talking about where both teams kind of go from here, starting, I guess we'll talk with the Chiefs because we're talking about them. I mean, they're in a good spot, man.
Are they? Who are the pending free agents for the Chiefs?
Orlando Brown is the big one.
Yeah, that's not a big one.
He will walk.
I hope so.
Almost guaranteed. You think they're going to tag him?
Not. I hope he stays because the last thing I want is him hitting the open market and every Bears fan
really,
he's going to the Bears. Sorry,
if you really had faith in Ryan Poles, you would understand that he would never. But
yeah, I have faith in him, but I don't want to listen
Miller's
to the
admitting he has no faith in Poles because
I don't think Poles would sign him.
I think Poles would sign the worst tackle in
let me
football.
Let me ask you this though, Miller. Would you be okay with Orlando Brown if you got him for like way cheaper than you're expecting to at the current moment?
No, he was top 7 in pressures allowed this season. I don't want
but what if they move him back to right tackle, where he was actually one of the best in the league?
A guy like him,
I would have to. That's the thing. If he came to Chicago, he would play right tackle because we got Braxton Jones. I don't think they're going to shift Braxton Jones to right tackle after he was just arguably the best rookie tackle. So I'd have to go back and watch because I honestly don't have that Orlando Brown in my mind at this very moment. All I can see is Dum Dum in Kansas City going "Durr." So like that was my Orlando Brown impression, by the way. He just yells "Durr" and spins. But yeah, no, I don't know. I'd have to think about it. I'd have to do some more looking into it. Michael Burton's also a free agent. So
sign that man to
lifetime contract.
So
max extension,
Yeah. So Orlando Brown's a free agent, Juju's a free agent, Carlos Dunlap, Derek Nottie, Andrew Wiley, Chad Henne just retired, Ronald Jones, Michael Burton, Jerick McKinnon, McCole Hardman, Juan Thornhill, Justin Watson, Tommy Townsend, Jody Fortson, Prince Tego one. Yeah, I don't know how to say his name. Their backup
that
tackle.
dude I sign in Madden all the time.
Yeah,
His
Prince.
name's Prince.
Yeah. Same. Are we the same guy? No. Kinda.
No, I have a beard.
Hey.
Give it more than 24 hours, you fuck.
I think, just based off that list, there's only a few guys in there I really prioritize re-signing. Here's my question for you guys: if you're the Chiefs, what do you do with Juju? Okay, that's not my, okay. That better question. Who would you prioritize signing between him and Hardman?
Hardman.
Yeah, give me Hardman, McKinnon, and go get your punter and your fullback back. Because Juju's gonna ask for 10+ mil. He's going to because he's a
Tommy
cunt.
Townsend.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good point, Geek. I didn't think about that with Juju asking.
Juju's asking for too much money. Deuces.
Yeah, because he's gonna be like, well, I just played for a Super Bowl team. I think I should earn money.
And also, look what Christian Kirk just made. He's gonna be like, I deserve at least a little bit of that.
But like, also the Chiefs have like, if Kadarius Toney can stay healthy and McCole and
Sky Moore coming up,
Marquez,
MVS.
Sky
and
Moore
yeah,
and
like,
MVS.
they don't
I
need
like
him. They don't
And
need
they
him.
Plus, with the draft
Kelsey-
coming up, they got the 31st pick. Worst
Right?
comes to worst, they can fucking pick a receiver at 31 and end up with like Josh Downs, and that would be awesome.
Honestly, there's a smallest chance where JSN falls down to there. I could doubt
There
he will,
is.
but there's a small chance. He does.
Yeah,
And Jordan Addison might even fall down to there, and that'd be a good addition for them too. I mean, I think that like
Addison's the one with all the concerns, though, right? If I'm not mistaken, or is that a different one? There's
What
one with a bunch of
concerns?
injury concerns and like an ego concern because he fought with his coach all the time.
Well, I know JSN should have injury concerns since.
Well, obviously, but
play.
I'm saying there's one that like I'm legitimately seeing people give him an incomplete grade for the draft because of all
Wild.
of his concerns. Yeah, I think it's Addison. It was the one that played at LSU.
Oh,
he did not
Keyshawn.
play.
Keyshawn.
Oh, Butte.
Okay. Boute.
I think it's
Addison did-
Butte.
Ass.
Yeah, the only
Ass.
the
I get
only
them
thing that
confused.
comes up. The only thing that comes up with Jordan Addison issues is when he got mad because an NIL guy didn't give him his money. because
Yeah,
they
it's not
didn't pay him
Addison,
for
it's
what he
Butte.
did.
Because
Addison-
him and his coach were like getting into screaming matches and shit because he was like, I want the fucking ball. He was like, you'll get the
And,
ball
like,
when you earn it. And, you know,
They've
shit
proven
like
they
that.
don't need to pay wide receivers big money to be successful.
Mhm.
So if Juju asked for any more than I would be willing to pay him, I would say, "We'll see you. Somebody else will sign you. We'll see you later."
Yeah.
Because he's
That's
not
the
like
thing
it's
with having
not
a guy
like he's
like
the
Mahomes.
clear wide receiver one on that team. Like
No,
it
he's-
He
could
wasn't
be any
even
of
the
those
wide
other guys
receiver
we
one on that
mentioned.
team.
No,
Or the
it's
two,
not like he's,
or the three. I think in a perfect world, the Chiefs want Kadarius Toney to be wide receiver one because he's fucking insane. The issue
I'm
is,
not
can he
sure-
stay on
I'm
the
not
field?
sure if it's that. I'm not sure if his skill set hasn't built to be a wide receiver one in the
And
NFL.
Neither
He's a
does
gadget
Tyreek
guy.
Hill's skill set. He's not built for that, but
Fair.
he is.
But
So that's the
yeah,
thing.
but Tony, I really don't think there's many like Tony. He's proven that he cannot stay healthy. It sucks,
Yeah.
but like, if you want a guy who's that injury prone as your wide receiver one, that'd be a little risky. But like I said, MVS, I'm not calling him this great receiver, but I do think that he's better than people give him credit for.
And he
So-
fits with Mahomes. That's the
Yeah.
big thing.
He fits for Mahomes, and like Sky Moore started turning it on. Just don't play him on special. I mean, maybe even play him on special teams at this point because he had a great punt return. But like I don't know, dude. Like they're free agents. Like Carlos Dunlap, sure you can let him walk. He got him his ring. He can go. But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh. Yikes. Looking at the
Eagles?
Eagles free agents is insane.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
no,
can
no,
talk about
it's
the
bad.
Eagles stuff.
It's bad in
Eagles,
Philly. They're losing
it's
everybody.
Are they going to
bad.
have any starters left? Holy shit. They're going to have Jalen Hurts, Brown and Smith, Goddard, and Dickerson's not
Mailata.
on here. So Mailata,
Yes, sir.
Dickerson, and Lane Johnson, even though he could retire. I kind of doubt it because they lost, but he
Couldn't
could.
Jason Kelsey also technically retire at this point?
Yeah, but he's also
He's either going to walk
contract
or he's
up, right?
re-signing. He wants to.
he wants to stick around.
I think he wants to retire winning one.
Yeah.
I still think, I don't know if it was last week or the week before, but we talked about it. Pairing the Kelsey brothers up in Kansas City would be interesting. I don't know how you do it, but
Yeah.
you figure it out, you know?
And so the Eagles' cap space right now, they have $8 million to work with, and they have this many free agents. Like
Yeah.
they gotta really pick and choose here.
Do they? Well, okay, is that their cap space right now or when the offseason actually comes around?
I think it's right now.
Let's just put over the cap
'Cause
says.
they've got some guys on their team that are making solid money that are slated to hit free agency.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the cap space right now. It depends on who they let walk.
So I want to go look, though. Because over the cap, I hope this is going to show for the offseason. It's not. That's sick. The fuck? Not important. Yeah, I don't know. It's strange. Yeah. Either way, though. Yeah, Fletcher Cox, Robert Quinn, Brandon Graham, Javon Hargrave, Jason Kelsey, James Bradbury, Isaac. Give me that last name.
Sayamalu.
Thank you. Andre Dillard, who's a good backup tackle. Kaiser White, TJ Edwards, Ndamukong Suh, Linval Joseph, Boston Scott, Miles Sanders, CJ Gardner-Johnson, Gardner Minshew, and Marcus Epps are all out.
That is so tough.
Well, on the bright side, right away, guys like Epps, Quinn, Sue, Joseph, they're not coming back.
Also on the bright side,
why is
there's a
Epps
very
not
good
coming back?
chance-
Just don't feel like they need him.
Yeah.
So they're gonna lose both starting safeties in Epps and CJ.
Welcome
and that's
to
okay.
Bring back CJ.
Brian Branch.
I would keep CJ. I would prioritize CJ.
I don't know if you can afford him. And I don't know, do you prioritize him over your O-line?
No. I mean, obviously, the number one concern is Kelsey. Kelsey's the number one guy that you worry about bringing back. And then from there, you're looking at CJ, you're looking at Kaiser White.
I got Bradbury above CJ, too. I really do.
Why?
Bradbury was good
Because
this year, but
CJ had a good 7 games and then was actually below average the entire rest of the season and was mediocre in the playoffs, and everybody's acting like he's a top 2 safety.
Well, I'm not going that far with it. I'm just saying I think he's a solid starter and a guy you want to keep around because he's still relatively young.
James Bradbury had a better corner season than CJ had safety season.
But Bradbury's what,
and
like
corner's
31,
more
32?
important. No, he's 29 and a half.
Really? Okay, well, see, that's the issue. I thought he was a little bit older than he is.
Okay. Fair enough.
I was going to say, because if he's like 31, 32, you let him walk and draft a corner at 10.
That's fair.
That's kind of where I'm going with
I
that.
also
I think you
that
could.
like.
Oh, go ahead, Jake. Sorry.
Is 10 too high for Brian Branch? I mean, he's a phenomenal safety.
I was gonna say it would be cheaper and maybe smarter to go Branch at 10, keep Epps because he's not gonna be as much.
AJ Gardner-Johnson walk, Alabama defensive back. I don't know.
And I
haven't
Epps,
watched Branch. I can't speak on it yet.
And who else? Who else are they going to take at 10 when you think about it? It all depends on the free agent stuff.
Or
they could take Peter Skoronski and move him to guard or center because he can play all 5 positions, I believe. Or they could take they could take. It just all depends on free agency
at
for
pick
them.
32,
but they have a top 10 pick.
Could go.
They have a really good shot at getting a generational talent here in this top 10. They just got to do it right, and depending on who it is.
The other thing with Bradbury, though, now that I'm thinking about it, because now I'm raking my mind to try to make myself sound smart. That's another thing. Are we sure they're going to be able to afford Bradbury?
That's valid.
Because he had like you said, he did have a great season as a corner, and depending on where their money's at, they might not be able to afford.
Okay, but is Bradbury going to say? So let's say the Eagles offer him $6 million, right?
Mm-hmm.
$6 million. You get to stay with Darius Slay on a team that's going to compete for a Super Bowl, or you can go get $12 million and go to the. I know this isn't a team that would put an offer in for him, but $12 million and go to the Bears, where your corner won, but you're gonna suck.
Right.
I think with dude being about 30, knowing that this is the end, he could take a little less for. Even if it's just for one more year, run it back with Philly before they run out of money because they got to pay Jalen. Because remember, he doesn't get 5 years; he only gets 4 because he was a second-round pick.
Okay.
Yep.
So you run it back one more time, and then you go make your money next year and just say, "Fuck it, I'll go play somewhere that sucks," because I gave it my best shot while I had my best chance.
Yeah. I see where you're coming from. I just think it could go either way with that.
That's fair.
I don't know too much about how Bradbury is as like a person, what he prioritizes and whatnot. So
Me either.
Honestly, at this point, I'm kind of leaning either way. How free agency shakes out, I'm kind of just leaning best defensive back available at 10.
that's valid because they need the depth at the very least.
They need the depth. Yeah, like a guy like Joey Porter Jr. or Cam Smith. I wouldn't hate that at all at top. Or Brian Branch is probably the best defensive back in the draft. I think that. And then they have 32 too, which they could even have one of the. I guarantee one of the top corners there at 32. I'm not sure they're all going to the top 30.
Is it 32?
No, it's 31. Remember the Dolphins had to forfeit their pick.
But the Eagles didn't win. They have 30.
Wouldn't
So they have 30. Then? Yeah. You're the one who said 32, Jake. You don't get anything on the ass.
So yeah, I guarantee.
I was gonna say y'all have me all sorts of confused.
I guarantee. Yeah, one of the top corners falls there.
Now, what if the Eagles? Sorry, not to cut you off, Jake, but what if the Eagles go crazy? let Miles Sanders walk.
Bijan
Draft
Robinson
Bijan
at 10. Yes. Yes.
That's
100
also
times
within the realm of
yes.
possibility.
100 times yes.
I'd let Miles Sanders walk no matter what. There's too many other pieces you got to pay. I like Miles Sanders. He had a good year.
But I don't know if I can justify drafting a running back for them with all the holes they're going to have after free agency.
It won't
but they
matter.
could. They very well could. And Bijan Robinson is fantastic, so I'm not going to be like, don't.
I can't wait for you guys to watch his film because he's genuinely. I know I haven't watched that much
he's
film
very,
yet.
very good.
He is one of the 5 best players in this draft class. He is legit.
It's not their biggest need, but yeah.
But I don't know, a weapon like that on this offense would go crazy if everything else falls.
It's a very good hypothetical situation.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that they'll probably prioritize something else, but
probably.
Bijan Robinson.
But God, would that be fun?
If other teams are thinking this, I think we're gonna say the same thing, Miller. But yes,
I was gonna say hypothetically, if they don't go Robinson at 10, what if they go like Jahmyr Gibbs at 30? Themselves a nice little.
I was gonna say, what if teams decide that Bijan Robinson, like, they don't want him and he just falls to 30?
I think he goes higher than 30.
He will not make it past Minnesota and Buffalo. I guarantee it. One of those 2 teams will take him.
Probably.
With Dalvin Cook getting his shoulder cut open.
Well, okay. So since this just got brought up, that was the tweet I was making that face about earlier.
Oh my.
Dalvin Cook, according to him and his agent, has already declined to take a pay cut to stay with the Vikings. He's told everyone close to him that there is no reason for me to take a pay cut. Dude has a $14.1 million cap hit.
Yeah,
in 2023.
The grind, I respect it.
So that wasn't what I got mad about, or what that face was about.
Mm-hmm.
What bugged me was the account that was reporting this is like, the current market for running backs shows Dalvin is worth that. He was the least efficient running back in football this year. The fuck he is.
Yes.
Totally worth it, honestly. Minnesota should pay him more.
Of course, you two idiots. I don't want to hear it from you two idiots. I don't want to hear it from you two idiots.
Give him a raise. Give Kirk a raise.
This is it. This is my villain
transition
moment.
This into talking about our team's free agency stuff, because that's something that we want to get into. Is there anything either of you have to say about the Chiefs and the Eagles and where they go from here before we kind of dive right into our teams?
I do want to say I'm really interested to see what Philly does with TJ Edwards, specifically in free agency. He's one of my favorite linebackers in football right now.
Yeah, I'd say he walks.
Looking at what some Eagles fans that are tapped in, so to speak, have to say, they're thinking that Howie's not going to want to pay a linebacker the type of money that he's going to be asking, because the linebacker market could get funky with what Roquan Smith just got and the direction it's in, because Edwards and Edmonds as well. Both really, really fucking good at linebacker. They're both really good. And they're both slated to hit the market. So I'm curious to see what they make, because Philly's not going to be able to give him a bunch of money. And they also have Nakobe Dean waiting in the wings. So I'm curious to see how they'll handle that situation, especially with Kaiser White hitting the market too, because Kaiser White's going to be cheaper and they do different things. So I can see a world where they bring back Kaiser, let Edwards walk, and then let Dean kind of step up and be the linebacker that he was supposed to be before the draft. And then Chicago signs hometown kid TJ Edwards, and we ball.
Fuck it, you don't ball.
No, I mean he grew up a Bears fan, and he lived relatively close to Chicago. We have a ton of money and need a linebacker, so.
Do you? I thought you had a.
We run a 4-3 defense and have one linebacker.
Yeah, that's all you need.
We
do the math.
Yeah, you only need one linebacker. You only need one. No.
Then who do we play as our strong side linebacker and weak side linebacker?
Nobody. Actually, no. Based off of what Jake had you drafting, I guess a safety, because you're taking 2 safeties in the draft while you already have Brisker and Eddie Jackson. So I guess you're putting some safeties down there.
I can see a world where we trade Eddie Jackson, though.
Because Jake, I don't know, didn't draft based on needs for the Bears. I don't know why.
Yeah.
You took the one position they're like good at, and you were like, fuck it, they're picking 2 of those.
That's true, because he took Hunter Lepke in the 7th round.
Well, Kari could walk.
I actually really do not think that Bears mock draft was that bad. I messed up on the safety part.
That's the only thing I'm talking about. That's the only thing.
PFF mock draft simulator doesn't let you look at your previous picks, so I forgot that I already taken a safety when I picked that guy on like the 3rd or the 4th.
Okay, that's
I was like, frick. But
oh shit!
I honestly think that I did a fairly decent job with the Bears draft. Although,
yeah, I mean,
I just wanted to give you shit about the double safety.
I'll put it this way: I don't know a lot of these prospects. Like I told you when I replied to your tweet, I only know Carter, Olu, and Lepke out of this group. I will say though, going safety twice before taking a receiver would probably end up with Ryan Poles getting shot in the street.
100%. 100%.
That man said, okay, you guys wanted George Pickens, you get Jaquan Brisker. You guys want, I don't know, Josh Downs, you get J.L. Skinner. You guys want insert receiver here, you get Christopher Smith. And then finally in the 5th round, they're like, fuck it, take Xavier Hutchinson.
Actually, Smith and Brisker would be like an actual interesting safety duo.
I don't know anything about
I'd be down. I'd be down.
We'll say I like Olu. I like Chicago taking Olu. Because we need a center.
I also had the Texans taking Olu. But as I've stated previously, these mock drafts have been zero connection to each other, just how the board falls.
Listen, I will say as well, if Kari does walk, I will move heaven and earth to fucking get Hunter Lepke in a Bears uniform.
There's like zero chance he doesn't get drafted, right?
Oh, he's getting drafted. Listen, Hunter Lepke is such a good fullback that I could see a team drafting him to use him as like a 3rd down back. Like straight up put him at halfback.
Dude is legit, yeah. Like, and he, I don't know.
Dude is use check. He's use check.
Would love to see him on the Packers.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
I'll meet some DeGuara, but yeah.
Yeah, listen, I'll put it this way. Just not to get too deep into it. Hunter Lepke is the closest thing I have seen to Kyle Juszczyk ever.
Like, I haven't watched Kyle Juszczyk college film, but
I mean, I'm talking about NFL Juszczyk because in college Kyle was a tight end, so it's a bit different. Yeah. 2-time All Ivy League first team tight end, by the way.
Ivy League first team tight end. As if half those schools can't even field football teams. This doesn't count. The fact that he went to Harvard is actually kind of a negative in the NFL.
100+ yards against the Princeton Tigers defense.
Yeah, who gives a fuck?
Like, look at him in the NFL, though. That's all that matters. I don't give a shit what he did in college.
That's my point. Talking about what he did in college is like the worst thing you could do.
I just like to flex anything Kyle Juszczyk related, okay? I'm a Kyle Juszczyk propaganda pusher. But I mean, yeah, Lepke did some wacky shit for NDSU. Like he had, I go crazy over that catch Juszczyk had against, I think it was Denver, the toe tap, fucking toe drag on the sideline. Lepke did some shit like that over his shoulder in the front corner of the end zone. He's a really, really hard runner, hell of a blocker, super smart, pretty athletic. He can catch, like I said, he can catch really well, good route runner. I mean, he is the complete package for like the quote unquote modern fullback that Kyle Juszczyk is kind of ushering in.
Yeah.
He's awesome. And then Monty Potenbaum as well from Iowa is pretty cool. I haven't watched as much as him, but I've heard great things.
I mean, yeah, so since we've kind of transitioned and talking about our own teams here, what I think we should do is go around, do a little round table here, and just kind of look at our team's key free agents and talk about what we want to do with them, who we want to see walk, who we want to see sign with the team. So let's start with you, Geek. Let's start with you and the Vikings. Let's take a look at your free agent list and what guys are you prioritizing bringing back, and what guys are you saying bye-bye to?
Dude, I think there is a world where even though the Bears have the most money and the number 1 overall pick that they're going to trade and do crazy shit with, I still think there's a world where there's more roster turnover in Minnesota than there is in Chicago.
I would not be surprised.
Really tough thing for Kwesi because you just went 13-4, right?
Sure.
Won the division, made the playoffs. How do you, as the GM, go to the owners and be like, yeah, we went 13-4, but we really aren't that good. Like, that was not what we are. That's not what this team is. We need to blow it up. How do you convince the owner it's time to blow it up after the best season in 5 years? Like, that's tough.
Look at the average age on your roster and you think maybe.
Right. Once you do that, it's like, oh, yeah, that's tough.
It has to be in the 30s, right? The average age on the Vikings roster right now.
I don't know. Average age.
Actually, probably not. There's enough under 30 guys. Gotta be. We would have to manually do the math to figure this.
Vikings
out.
have. Wow. Is that for this year? That's not for this year. Okay. I was very confused. No, I don't care about the fucking Chiefs and Eagles. No, I don't fucking know what the average age is. I don't know. Yeah, the internet doesn't want to tell me. But upcoming,
I would say it's at least 6.
For sure.
He's right. He is right.
So for upcoming free agents, though, Dalvin Tomlinson is gonna walk. We have no money. He's gonna demand $15 million probably, and we do not have that. I mean, he
Cut
was
Justin Jefferson. Pay him.
no. I mean, Dalvin Tomlinson was one of the 10 best interior defensive linemen in football this year, as long as he was on the field. But it also doesn't matter. It's not like it fixed anything for us. Our defensive line was actually one of our few strengths, really, and it's not like that mattered. And also, he's 29. Like, for those big guys down there, you peaked, probably. Unless you're like Fletcher Cox, who just keeps playing forever, but most guys aren't. And seeing as you already had multiple injuries this year, you missed time last year, it's probably time to move on from Dalvin. Patrick Peterson's a free agent. That dude's 33. So unless he's taken $2 million to stay in Minnesota, deuces. Garrett Bradbury, I don't know what to do with him. This was year 5. He sucked for 4 years. He was like okay this year. But then in the playoff game, if you listen to everything important, first of all, fucking Dexter Lawrence is insane. But also
player.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. But he murdered Garrett Bradbury on every play. Like him or Leonard Williams. I almost said Leonard Floyd, but I knew that wasn't right. Leonard Williams. What is that face?
Leonard Floyd.
Not a fan.
He missed Leonard Floyd Miller.
No, I do not miss Leonard Floyd. The only good thing Leonard Floyd did was like hate Aaron Rodgers and always hit him, and that was it. Then he went to the Rams and was like, I'm okay now because I can be an Aaron Donald merchant. Anyways, off topic. Continue.
Bradbury's also in a weird spot because he's 28, coming off of his rookie deal. Like, I have a feeling he's going to demand too much money for what he is and his ability. Like, I just don't see a world where he's really even worth keeping. Unless
the situation with most of the Vikings guys at this point is we want money, and the Vikings say we don't have it.
Well, it's not only we don't have it, but you're also not a guy that it's worth. Like, if it was Justin Jefferson, you say fuck it and you figure out whatever you have to do to bring him back. Bradbury's not that guy.
Restructure. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Bradbury's not that guy. So you let him go. What else? Greg Joseph, let him walk.
He's a kicker. Yeah.
What?
And not that good of a kicker.
No, right. maybe we shouldn't have let Zimmer cut Daniel Carlson after 2 weeks. Maybe.
That is crazy.
God,
I
I'm
still can't believe
so
he was on the
pissed
Vikings
about
roster at one point, and he's one of the best kickers in the NFL.
I'm so pissed. Nick Mullins is gone. Chandon Sullivan's gone. Irv Smith is gone. There's no reason for him to stay. What?
But he's better than Komet.
He's better than Komet.
He is better than Komet. He's better than Komet.
He's going to back up Komet next year.
That's real. That's real. Imagine.
Nah, dude, if he signs to the Bears, he's actually going to move to wide receiver because he'd be the only guy who could actually play that position for you.
It's very mean to Darnell Mooney, and I don't appreciate it.
Yeah, well, he deserves it.
States like
the
right
last
now.
memory I have of Darnell Mooney is him dropping a game-winning pass because he's shit. So fuck him.
But remember that one time when he cooked Jalen Ramsey and then Trubisky overthrew him?
Wasn't Trubisky? It was Dalton. I don't know. It was one of the fucking backups. It wasn't Trubisky.
Remember that
it was one of the
one
other
when
ones.
Andy Dalton missed him on a throw where he cooked Jalen Ramsey? What could have been? Am I right?
Well, he obviously didn't cook him if he didn't catch the ball.
The ball was like 30 feet over his head and to the left.
He should have leapt. He should have leapt 50
That's
yards.
right. He should have activated his power up that he got for kicking Ramsey and done a super jump. You're right.
Or stop worrying about beating Ramsey and worry about being in the position you're supposed to be in. Why were you 30 yards away from the ball?
Out of bounds?
Well, if that's where the ball's supposed to be.
But yeah, does Irv Smith serve any function in this Vikings offense anymore? No, right? So he's got to walk, yeah.
No, but also weirdly, yes. He still caught like 3 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks of the season.
Is he better? Okay, let me ask you this. Is there anything that he is better at than TJ Hawkinson?
I think he's faster.
There it is.
Which, I mean, according to Jake's logic, makes him better. So...
Real.
I will not say a word. I'm done. I'm not having this debate.
Good. Because you'd lose. Sorry, back to my bullshit.
Hey, 1A and 1B. I don't think that's that unreasonable. Anywho.
Between Hawkinson and Irv Smith?
No.
Yes, Hawkinson.
That is.
Yes.
I don't think Miller knows what the fuck's going on here.
No.
Yeah.
I said that Justin Jefferson and Tyreek Hill were 1A and 1B in the NFL.
Well, no, you said
really
no. You said Tyreek Hill is undoubtedly the best receiver in football, and because he just does things so much better. And I said, outside of speed, what does he do better than Jefferson? You got no answer because the answer is nothing. Better route runner, Jefferson. Better hands, Jefferson. Better locker room guy, Jefferson.
Yeah. Never mind. Devontae's better than both.
Better human off the field. Jefferson.
Absolutely.
Devontae's wide receiver 1. Never mind.
The only thing we've ever seen about Justin Jefferson is him like helping kids, being a cool dude,
making Kirk Cousins feel good about himself.
You want to hear my hot take? And this isn't just about Justin Jefferson, but he is the one who started this. I'm getting sick of the gritty. Get it out. It's gone. I hate it.
The only time the gritty sucks is when Mike Gesicki does it. Anyone else?
That's not true.
I love it. I hate Gesicki, dude. I just hate Mike Gesicki.
No, if I ever see Mac Jones do it again, I'm breaking every bone in his body.
Mac Jones doing it was heat.
But I also don't want to see Mac Jones on a football field. He's not good, and he's a whiny little bitch, and it annoys me.
No, but it was so funny because it's like, look at me, I'm the white guy at the Pro Bowl.
Right? But also, yeah, I don't know.
But anyway, Geek, any other major free agents that the Vikings should resign or should not?
So basically, my point with the free agents is you've got to just let basically everybody walk. I'd love to bring back Chris Boyd if he's not going to demand crazy amounts of money. I know, he was like our cornerback 6. But he's a really good special teams guy, and I also just really like him as a dude. So I'd love to keep him around. But realistically, our actual free agents aren't the guys that I'm worried about whether we're going to keep or not.
True.
It's everybody else. Dalvin Cook, Kirk. There's still a world where he gets moved. There really is.
Isn't a trade clause, right?
Right, but he could waive it, maybe.
Well,
but also with the way he talks, I don't think he would.
Yeah,
I genuinely think he wants to retire a Viking.
If the Vikings say, "Hey, Kirko, we're going to send you to a team that can win a Super Bowl right now,"
right? If we say we're sending you to the Jets,
Well, they let me go to church
but
on
he also
Sunday.
might
That's
say
his next
no.
question.
He also
Why
might say no
would
to
he?
the Jets because
Why?
it's New York. The same
Okay,
reason
that's fair.
nobody wants to be there. Kirk gets
New
enough
York
heat as
media
it
would
is
cook
on a
him.
team that
Yeah.
nobody cares about. Let's be honest,
Yeah.
the national media, the Vikings could go 17-0 next year and nobody would talk about it because it's Minnesota. That just is what it is. So Kirk gets enough hate in purple. Imagine in New York. Oh my God.
Yeah, I also think like
Well, by that logic, what team could he reasonably go to?
That's what I'm trying to think about. I mean, do we know what's going on with Tua? If Tua retires, the Dolphins could be that team.
I keep seeing Mitchell Trubisky to Miami.
Yeah,
I think
wouldn't
that's
you
so
rather
funny.
have Kirk if you were Miami? Wouldn't you rather
I can
have
confidently
Cuzzo?
say I would take Kirk Cousins over Mitchell Trubisky. Yes.
Yeah. What
I
other
hope that doesn't happen because I don't want to see Mitch in a number that isn't 10. I think that would be weird.
valid? Yeah,
Jake was going to say something. What were you going to say, Jake?
Yeah.
I don't remember. It was going to be something about why Kirk wouldn't leave the Vikings. I think
He just likes
I think it's just
Minnesota.
because like he A likes Minnesota, B he probably likes Kevin Connell a good bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
And JJ,
And
like they
working with
actually
him-
get along, which is
And
big.
JJ, yeah. Like, and I honestly think that the Jets receivers would be very active on Twitter about Kirk Cousins if he were to go there.
Probably.
Garrett Wilson would be like, "Hey man, I'm not getting the ball enough," and Elijah Moore would be like, "Hey man, I'm requesting a trade again."
And you know what Kirk would do? Because he actually could do this, unlike any quarterback the Jets
He
have
would
had in the
walk
last
into the
100
locker
years.
room.
He'd go,
he would-
I decide who gets the ball. I'm the quarterback, and I'm the only one in this room who's proved they're any good at this sport. So everybody
He
else
like
sit down
that?
and shut the
He
fuck
would-
up. And then he'd walk out
He would
and
wa-
point at Sala and go, you like that? And then he'd go back to his church group.
You go back to youth
He
group.
would, yeah,
I'm
he would
sorry.
walk into the locker
Today
room.
we're gonna
wa-
learn about pride, and then he'd give the example of everybody in the fucking locker room.
He
Oh.
He would walk into the locker room and just like saunter over to Garrett Wilson and hand him a Bible and say, "You think you should look at? I think you should look at a few chapters of this thing."
Oh, God.
Yeah,
No,
that's what he
see-
would do. If Kirk had like a really good game where he didn't get sacked, he would get his old lineman Bibles. It'd be like, yeah.
No, see, that's the thing, though. I could just totally see Kirk ripping into the Jets receivers saying, you really think this is my fault? Look at what I've done with every receiver in Minnesota. Obviously, it's you guys. Like, genuinely. Kirk's never made any receiver look bad, ever.
Yeah.
Normally, he makes them look really good. Like,
Yeah, this man had us thinking Jamison Crowder was a real receiver at one point.
right? I mean, yeah, like,
It's true.
I think
yeah,
that would be cool. I'd just like to see Garrett Wilson with a competent quarterback.
yeah.
Not even asking for a great one, just one that knows how to play. And Kirk,
Joe
for all his
Flacco.
faults, he does know how to play football.
He does. As long as it's not 4th and 8 in the wild card game.
Or under the big lights.
No, you can't even say under the big lights because those were the big lights and he performed. Okay, moving on. CJ Ham is probably gone as much as I hate it. And we're going to be one of those teams that doesn't rock a fullback and Miller's going to hate us even more. Oh, look at the slow head rise. That was pretty good.
The things I can push about Minnesota in the offseason if they don't have a fullback, and I can mean it, and everyone will just look at me like I'm satirical, will be fucking devious.
But maybe I think we should keep CJ Ham. You saw the conversation on Twitter, especially if we're rocking with Kene Nwangwu and Ty Chandler as our running backs. I'm sorry. Those two are not run up the middle every play guys.
Mhm.
Or almost ever. That's not what they're built for. They are smaller speed guys. Having Ham he could get more snaps. He could fill the Alexander Madison role, basically, along with the actual fullback role. But he could be our big bruiser back, which we've always used. That's always been a thing. So, kind of hope that doesn't happen, but I could see him being gone. Adam Thielen, you gotta move off of him. That dude's cap hit's bigger than Devontae. I love Thielen, but oh my God. His cap hit's about 15 M's too high.
What if he's willing to take a big old pay cut?
If he's willing, then done. Keeping him around. Done.
Valid.
Like, same with Harrison Smith. If he's willing to take a pay cut, he's staying. Za'Darius, if you take a pay cut, you're staying. Daniil Hunter, we have to figure out whether we want to pay him or not, because next year's the final year of his deal. If we're not going to pay him, you trade him. And if that means Za'Darius Smith wants out too, you trade him too. That's just how that works. Probably should find somewhere to trade Kendricks too. It's time. This core is done.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be the Saints where in 5 years we're still paying for Harry and Thielen and Kendricks because we wanted that one more year and all we did was get to the wild card again. Only this time we got blown out because we kept them. We couldn't field a team any better. Actually, our team would be so much worse because we don't have the money to
be
replace.
The Vikings?
Yeah, fuck.
Who would be that random quarterback the Vikings would have during this time? If like Kirk Cousins were to leave and they're in like the Saints like restructuring situation, what would it be like? Who would it be like? I don't even know.
Kellen Mond comeback season.
I thought you were gonna go.
No, it would be Baker. It would be Baker.
Oh no, because it would be
Baker.
I don't know where Teddy's gonna be in 3 years. Because he'll be 34. I don't know where he'll be.
Shit, really?
Yeah, Teddy's 30 now. At least
he
might be 31.
You're saying he's 34 now. Oh my God.
No, I said I don't know where he'll be in 3 years. He'll be 34.
I got you now. Okay.
Will at that point he have transitioned fully into the like Chad Henne, Chase Daniels thing, where you're just one of the best backups in football. So you're signed immediately every year because, if we have a quarterback injury, everybody knows Teddy will step in and you'll be fine. I still stand by the Dolphins win that playoff game had they started Teddy, not Skyler dumbass.
Wasn't Teddy hurt?
Kinda. But I'm sorry. I still trust Teddy more than Skyler. The issue was it was a thumb injury on his throwing hand. So it's like, can he even grip the ball well enough to throw it? Dude, Skyler was lobbing passes 20 yards in the air to get him 5 yards. He has no arm. I promise you Teddy would be fine. At least with the offense you were having to run anyways. But no, I think the Vikings completely blow it up. There's a world where... So I think if we keep Kirk, if that ends up being part of it, we will probably be a playoff team next year. We won't. I don't think we'll win the North. But with Kirk, I think our offense is just still going to be good enough that it just doesn't matter. Like, that's what it was last year. And I could see our offense improving because we could end up with another receiver in the draft. If we end up with a Bajan and then take like a... What is it? A.T. Perry maybe in the third, fourth round. That offense is insane.
Rashee Rice.
That wouldn't be a bad one.
Vikings.
I like Marvin Mims, but that's because I'm an Oklahoma guy. I don't know a ton about him.
Rice. It's just everything I've seen about him basically says he doesn't have a skill set that translates to the NFL, so I think he'd fit very well in the Vikings offense.
Thanks, Doug.
He's Jamar Chase if Jamar Chase wasn't explosive.
Was bad.
No.
Was bad.
Isn't Rice actually explosive? The issue is just he's small. Ergo Percy Harvin.
The description I saw of him is that he's a 6-foot guy that isn't big enough to be an X, isn't crafty enough to be a slot, isn't quick enough to be a Z, and isn't a ball winner.
Oh, so he's a Mon-Ra St. Brown, and you want us to have that. That was the description of him coming out of college. He's not good enough at anything to be any good.
I haven't actually watched him, so I don't know.
I haven't either. I'm just going off of that.
He's Equinemius St. Brown.
Yeah. He's equanimous. That's what he is.
Is
I mean,
equanimous, yeah.
Would have been the best receiver on the Packers this year, so I'd take it. Our wide receiver 4, I'd take it.
Jake, can you deny these allegations?
I think Christian Watson is better than Equinemius St. Brown right now. So, yes, I will
We'll
deny
see.
those allegations.
We'll see. I think it was all Rodgers.
It's real.
When Jordan Love takes over, we'll see how it is. If Jordan Love takes over, there's a world where Jordan Love doesn't start 5 games in his career for the Packers, and I find that hilarious. But no, Minnesota, if we get rid of all those guys and have any money in free agency, sorry, I got to get done with mine so you guys can take over real quick. So if we can come up with any money, I mean, I don't know if there are any free agents worth it for us. I think Isaac, I still don't got his name. Give me it. Miller.
Sayamalu.
Thank you. Sayamalu. I will remember that someday. I would love it if we could swing him to replace Ed Ingram. That's the priority. Fix the interior of the offensive line. If we could get, like, in a perfect world, let's say we trade Dalvin for a 2nd-round pick, or some combination of Dalvin and Thielen somehow, like some weird, like maybe the Bills give us a 2nd-round pick for Dalvin because they suck, like, and then you're pairing the brothers up and whatever. In a perfect world, that would then lead us to, if we could sign Siamalu. Don't know if I got that right already.
Sayamalu.
Yeah,
Close
whatever.
enough.
If we can sign him and then draft like Osiris Torrance in the 1st, and then somehow move up early enough in the 2nd round to get John Michael Smiths.
That's
There
a
we
bear.
go. He's not a bear.
He's a
Sorry.
bear. He's such
You
a
already
bear.
have a center. Sorry.
The fuck we don't.
Yeah,
we
you
even
do.
have one on the roster.
Nope, all the Bears fans are telling me what's his fuck's great, so it'll be him.
Ooh.
My brain just fucking fried. I don't know. I can't name you a Bears player at the moment. Hold on.
We don't have any centers on the roster. They're all free agents.
Oh, well, then you just re-sign them.
Oh. No.
Not Mustafa. Who was your other center?
Don't
Because
say
you
that
only have
name.
one center in free
Don't say
agency, so what the
that
fuck are you
name.
talking about? You definitely had more
We
than
gave
one center
Lucas
on the
Patrick
roster.
2 years.
Apparently, that's what Patrick McCarry, right? Yeah, Bears fans are saying keep.
Lucas Patrick from the
Oh.
Packers.
Oh,
That was our other
who
center.
the fuck is Patrick McCarry?
He's also an offensive lineman.
Okay.
Just not a bear.
Okay, whatever.
Oh,
Doesn't
I
matter.
didn't realize we signed Lucas Patrick for 2 years. I thought he only got a 1
Yeah,
year
so you
deal.
have
That's
a
my
center,
mistake.
so fuck off.
Kinda.
You have one for now. You'll worry about drafting one next year. I'm sorry.
Not a-
Your roster is not good enough for you to be drafting backups in the 2nd round, dog.
He wouldn't be a backup. He would start day 1 over Patrick. Patrick sucked this year when he was on the field. He was absolutely atrocious.
Can confirm.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
It's
good.
the Bears. No matter who you get, you're still going to suck. It's okay.
Well, at least John Michael Schmitz would keep Fields upright.
Well, we need that more. Fields can move, Cuzzo can't. So the
Yeah.
offensive line matters more to us than it does to you. Them's the
Yeah, well,
rules.
Cuzzo's going to drink Mike's secret stuff next year and be able to run a little bit.
I don't know.
He's gonna get
Did you
the-
see him in the Pro Bowl? He might be that guy. I don't know. I genuinely do
Check
wonder.
merchant.
No, I
Check
genuinely do wonder. Is the reason Cuzzo the way he is because of Shanahan and Gruden? Like, did they just bully this man so bad that he had no confidence in himself? And now he's
Very
like
Shanahan.
slowly building it back. And like somehow 2 years from now, he's still going to be a Viking, sadly. It'll be his age 39 season, but he'll be playing like he's fucking Patrick Mahomes, just scrambling around, fucking dotting people up. It would be funny. And we'd have to have a talk about whether Mike Shanahan's any good.
I will say Kirk's becoming more likable at the very least over time.
It's the confidence,
I'll give
man.
him that.
It's 100%
Yeah, maybe
that.
that is what it is.
And, coming out and singing about Brady's finally gone.
That
now
was
maybe
funny.
Kirk can finally win one.
I liked
was
that.
magical.
I very much liked that.
Everyone loved that. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
But
That might have been the turning point for my feelings towards Kirk. I'm not gonna lie.
But also with Brian Flores, we also need to go get a corner. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I like Andrew Booth and Cam Dantzler, but if we could get really any of those the 5 best corners in the draft, I think a guy like Cam Smith would fit best under Flores. But I don't know if there's a world where he falls to 23. I just don't. But there is a world where he could. And the Vikings do get very lucky with good players that they want falling to them a lot. They really do. Moss, Jefferson, Harrison Smith. Like, this is just a thing that keeps repeating itself. Dalvin Cook, actually, falling into the second round. Yeah, and as far into it as he did, we shouldn't have had him. But for whatever reason, we get very lucky with the guys we want somehow just landing with us, which is also
Unless
a
they're
problem.
Quarterback.
Yeah, because we did that. Well, it looks like Fields has fallen, so obviously he's going to fall to us because that's how it always goes. We were wrong. It's big sad.
Yeah, Ryan Pace, best move of his career. He said, "Thank you."
He did it only to spite Minnesota, and I stand by that.
And I just want to point out the best part about that trade, like in hindsight now, is that one of the first round picks that the Giants got from that trade is already off the roster and killing it elsewhere, which I find so
True.
funny.
All right.
So glorious.
But yeah, the odds are the Vikings are a very different team than last year. Probably, I wouldn't even say half the starters remain the same. But, I mean, there's a world where nothing happens. I don't fucking know. But I don't know. There's going to be a lot of movement, and I don't know what's best at the moment. I need to see what we do with our veteran old guys. You know what? Just because Miller's Miller, I want to throw it to Jake. What should the Packers do? Also, what are you laughing about? Hold on.
Packers do?
What the fuck is your issue?
I'll send it in the chat. One of my friends sent me a fucking GIF, and oh my god.
God damn
What
it.
should the Packers do? Let's yeah, I think because they're free agents, there are not many. Okay, I'm just gonna send this because we're gonna get way off track the second he does. And
It's sending. Hold on. It's a GIF, so it's going to be a second because my phone hates me. It's so stupid.
Okay. God damn it.
anyway, the Green Bay Packers, we do not have like the most drastic free agent class. They are Adrian Amos, Randall Cobb, Dean Lowry, Crosby, Lazard, Tunyon, Jerron Reed, Mercedes Lewis, Down Levitt, Jonathan Ford, Eric Wilson, Keyshawn Nixon, Hollins, and Yash Nyman. As far as guys who I think will walk, I'm not even sure if I know that Alan Lazard will not be a Green Bay Packer next year. He's made it very clear that was his last game at Lambeau against the Lions. I'm okay with it. He didn't do much when he was supposed to be like this wide receiver one, and Rodgers was supposed to elevate him and everything. I don't hate Alan Lazard, but it kind of seems like he hates the Packers, so screw that guy. He can walk. Mason Crosby, take it or leave it. I mean, I love Mason Crosby. He's one of my favorite Packers players ever. He's a good kicker, but like, I'm not sure Mason Crosby would be like, I want a lot of money and you will give it to me now.
You
but
can't
if
pay
he
him
wants
$1.
to stand a cheap deal, fine.
I wouldn't give him $1 to be my kicker. You had to have a second kicker on the roster because he couldn't kick from farther than 35.
Yeah.
And under 35, he wasn't even that accurate. Walk. He's bad. I'm the kicker defender, and I'm saying get that guy the fuck out of here.
Kick the kicker.
Anyway, Adrian Amos.
Call the Chargers about Dicker, the kicker.
He's 20. He's going to be 30. He's going to be 30. Adrian Amos is going to be a 30-year-old man very soon. I don't know, sir. Bye.
Okay,
you can
so real
probably
quick,
walk, and I'd be okay with it.
I got a question for you. When it comes to your team's free agents, Does who you re-sign versus let walk change depending on whether Rodgers is there or not? Like, is Amos gone, but if Rodgers is back, they re-sign him? Like, what do you think there?
I guess it depends on who it is. Like, if Rodgers were to get traded, and my hope is that he does, because it's the most valuable way to get out of him. He doesn't want to be in Green Bay, and Green Bay doesn't like him, and whatever. If he were to get traded, I think that would probably lead to Lazard being gone and Crosby being gone, because he would have absolutely no motivation to be there anymore. That probably lead to, I mean, like, there are very few guys here where I'm like, we have to resign them. Like Keyshawn Nixon, I want that man back in Green Bay. Like, I'm not going to pay him like a huge contract, but one of the best kick returners I've ever seen play for the Packers. Actually played decent at corner when he had to step up. Like Jerron Reed, he can probably walk. Mercedes Lewis, he served his time. He can go somewhere else and be a veteran backup somewhere else. As far as like free agents to get, like, love it if Evan Ingram was a Packer, but we just can't afford him, and that would be great. But like, that's just like the ideal world where we could. Like, if we could afford Evan Ingram, I would love to see that. The guy I would prioritize the most is probably Keyshawn Nixon out of this list. Like, I think he is very, very good at football, and I like him a lot. But like, I don't know, Robert Tonyan. People think he's worse than he is. He's not great, but like, he just didn't do much this year, and honestly, none of the Packers players did much this year, so I don't really dog him too much. If we resign him, I'm not going to be like flipping tables saying, how could you, Gutenkust, how could you? But I also think it's funny that I don't think Gutenkust can get fired because there's no ownership, so that's really funny because he can do whatever he wants, and I'm not sure there's like an angry mob showing up at his house in Green Bay, like, listen here, bucko, you're finished, it's over, like, anywho. I don't know, they don't really have many kids, like, and I can't really say much about anything until Rodgers is
right.
It's either gonzo or staying.
Yeah.
But I would prioritize probably Tonyan and Keyshawn if I had to pick. As to get, like, I would love to see like a veteran corner come in here and work alongside Jair. For example, James Bradbury. But again, you can't afford a guy like him. Okay. It sucks.
Quick question.
It sucks because every single guy the team we have. Yo.
Do you want to keep Robert Tonyan at what is going to be probably an $8 million figure because he probably thinks he's worth Dawson Knox money? He's not. So do you want to keep Tonyan, the older, already unathletic but coming off a knee injury guy, or do you want to go sign a guy like Irv Smith who's only 24? I offended him very much.
He entered the void.
He did. I offended him so bad. He entered the void. Look at that. Oh, okay. Are you back?
He has returned.
Can you hear us? Jakey boy? Jakey
Hello?
boy? Hello? What? Hello? He got nothing. That's not good. It's only him. No, I can... He's being goofy. He's a goofy goober. Oh, and he's gone. Oh, and he's back. Hello?
Actually, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
You here?
Kind of.
Okay. So, instead of keeping Tonyan, who's old, was never that good, and is unathletic, but also coming off a knee injury, do you want to keep him or sign a guy like Irv Smith, who's only 24?
That or...
Who would be cheaper than Tonyan because he's never done anything.
I have mocked Michael Mayer a lot to the Packers.
I feel like you got a lot of needs, though. But
yeah, but
if you're rocking Jordan Love, you need a weapon.
Yeah, and like... I think that JSN, if he falls, really they should probably take him.
They won't.
I would say they should take him. He's a guy I would love to see in Green Bay.
He's so not a Packer. In every
so
way,
right.
he's
No.
not a Packer.
But that does not mean that I cannot say that I want
Oh, I
him.
know.
I want JSN. I want maybe Jordan Addison.
Yeah,
a receiver in the first round this year would be great because
lots
we
of
don't have to
guys
worry
I
about because we don't have to worry if Rodgers leaves. We don't have to worry about this. Oh, he has to develop chemistry. BS. No. Give me a receiver. Get Jordan Love a receiver. I don't care. Like he can do. He has good chemistry with Christian Watson. If you got another young guy, screw it. I don't.
Yeah, and I want the Vikings to get Carter and Anderson and Devon Witherspoon too, but I know that's not gonna happen. God, I wish it would though.
Now, how are you going to react when the Packers draft Max Duggan in the first round?
He went to a Christian college, so fine by me.
Okay.
I mean,
So did Zach Wilson.
whatever helps you sleep at night.
But
We didn't.
yes, he did.
BYU is
Oh,
a
yeah.
Christian college?
Kind of, actually.
They're
BYU is not a Christian
Mormons.
college. It's a Mormon college. Those are
Mormons,
two completely
no.
separate things.
Okay, but except they aren't. So many religions fall under Christian. Mormon does, Jehovah's Witnesses,
Yes.
Catholics, Baptists. It's
I
still
didn't know
Christian.
Mormons were considered Christian. I didn't.
But
I
I-
just
but
didn't
I
know
have-
that straight up.
But the belief
Interesting.
system is so different that it's very hard to.
Right, but it is. They are still considered Christians. But weirdly, actually not weirdly, most Christians don't recognize Mormons as an official denomination.
That's probably why I didn't realize that they were
So
linked.
Mormon,
There you go.
they are Christians. It's just it's one of those goofy things. So technically, but it's also Mormon. So that's its own can of worms.
Sure.
I
so-
have questions, but we're not going to have a religious
Yeah, that's not
discussion
the
on
debate for
this podcast.
this show. We'll do that on my
Yeah.
show, where
I,
anything goes.
But yeah,
We're going to break down the Mormon faith on his podcast one of these days.
Let's do it.
Sorry, Jake, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I pretty much said my piece on the Packers. So
Okay.
just call
Okay.
it Mr. Cap's
Other
Space
than
Boy.
Irv Smith. But no, you brought that up because you said Michael Mayer instead.
Anybody I want to target, the Packers have no money to afford.
Same,
So,
dog.
a guy can dream,
Imagine.
but James Bradbury working on Jair would be great, but
Yeah.
same thing. Can't
Unlucky
afford
for the
him.
Bears, though. No one's gonna want to go play there. So
Hold on. Hey, listen.
I would
listen,
take
where's
I
my
would take a
wallet?
lot less money with a contender than I would with to play for the Bears.
I'd
So,
sign to play with any team other than the Bears for about $20 million less than I'd sign to play for the Bears.
I was going to start throwing money. All I have is a 20. That was really
Ah,
anticlimactic.
120. No, now you look like the Vikings and the Packers with the no money.
Well, no, it's on my card. I just don't have a lot of cash.
Nah. You want to see how empty my wallet is? No.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna start doing this while y'all
Yeah,
were
I
talking
know.
shit, and I thought it would be funny, but all I had was 120.
Yeah, but cool. You're gonna have to give Juju the Christian Kirk contract. Yeah, everybody talks about the Jacksonville tax. What about that Chicago tax, dog? The Jaguars have been relevant more recently than the Bears. He
You're
looks
not
so
very
sad.
nice.
No, but I'm being honest. You got to be ready for this. This is how it's going
Listen.
to go. Ow.
Here's the thing with Chicago, and I know this applies to Jacksonville as well, but we have a quarterback. We have a quarterback that players are going to want to come play with. We have reasons to be confident in this team. I mean, let me put it this way. Guys came and signed with the Bears when Mitchell Trubisky was our fucking quarterback over contending teams, namely Mr. Allen Robinson, who signed with the Bears over the Packers for a little bit more money and because he wanted to play with Trubisky. There's no doubt in my mind we can do the same thing with Fields.
See, but you're looking at this completely wrong because with Trubisky and that team, you had a defense. You had some pieces.
Okay.
This team is Fields and some maybes. That's it.
Yeah, and that's all you need, baby.
No,
That's all you
it's
need.
not. And that's
It is.
why the Jaguars had to overpay so much for everyone. Because, yeah, you got Trevor. And then what? Turns
Well,
out they
listen,
had a
I'll
lot.
Put it this
but
way. I'll put it this way. When it comes to some of these guys in free agency, I have no problem overpaying them right now.
some
And
of
with
them,
the
sure.
way, yeah, I don't think the Bears are going to go super hard at receiver in free agency. I really don't think they will. So I'm not worried about paying Juju Smith-Schuster the fucking Christian Kirk contract.
No, but that was just my reference.
No, I get you. I get you.
You're
but
probably
I'm saying
gonna have
for
to
anyone who might think that out
Yeah.
there, if we're going to overpay, we're going to be overpaying at like defensive tackle.
I was gonna say you're gonna
or-
give Daron Payne like top 5 DT
I'll
money.
hand that man a fucking blank check. I'll hand him a blank check and smile the whole way through. Daron Payne.
Oh
I got a
God, it's gonna
TikTok
be
on-
Albert Hainsworth.
Listen, I made a TikTok today that I'm posting tomorrow.
I said Albert Hainsworth, and Jake got so scared he disappeared.
Seriously, I love Daron Payne. That is my dream number one want for Chicago is Daron Payne. But looking through our upcoming free agents here, starting off with, I'll just run through the list. Byron Pringle, no, you let him walk. Riley Reif, let him walk. Nick Morrow, I could see us paying if it's cheap. He was okay. He's only 27. He fills one of those linebacker spots. Angelo Blackson, probably let walk. I'd like to see N'Keal Harry back as a depth receiver if he's cheap. Brian Griffin, you let walk. DeAndre Houston Carson's coming back. I have no doubt in my mind about that. He's an awesome special teamer.
So,
and
real quick, I'm trying to cut you off before we get too far away from N'Keal Harry.
Okay.
So you've got Claypool, you've got
Right.
Mooney.
Right.
Is EQ under a contract already?
Yeah, we gave him 1 year extension, yeah.
So you've got those three. Is
Uh-huh.
is anybody else under contract at receiver for the Bears? Valus. So you're probably going to carry 5 or 6 receivers into the actual season.
Yeah, I'm saying you bring Harry in to camp. Let him try out.
I was going to say, do you really want him to be 5?
No,
I don't know. I'd rather draft 2 guys.
Well, yeah, no,
one early, one late.
I don't see a world where you can't do both.
Fair. I was thinking more you wanted to keep Harry as in keep Harry. I was like, no.
No. I mean, you give him a 1 year deal, let him compete in camp. If he makes the team, cool. If he doesn't, whatever.
Okay.
I'm not saying I want to sign Harry to a long-term extension and make sure he's a pivotal part of our offense. No.
Right.
So from there, DeAndre Houston Carson, like I said, I want him back. Pivotal special teamer. He's been a really good glue guy on defense. Pat Scales, long snapper. You keep him. Matt Adams, let him walk. Although, I don't know. He's one of Eberflus's guys. He might stick around. Dane Cruikshank, he didn't do anything, so I don't know where they stand with him. And then, like, Dakota Dozier, Michael Schofield, Mike Pinnell, Dante Pettis, Joe Thomas, you let all of them walk. Nathan Peterman, you let walk. As sad as that is to say.
He's the best quarterback on your roster. You said so yourself.
And then I'm going to skip over two because we're going to come back to them because they actually matter. Sam Mustford, you kick him in the throat while he walks out of the building.
7-year extension.
And then Javen White, Breon Borders, let them walk. Trayvon Wesco, I don't know how they feel about him. He's a solid blocking tight end, so they might bring him back if he's not super expensive. He was playing under $1 million last year, so if he signs for something like that. Josh Blackwell said he wants to come back to Chicago, and he's like a restricted free agent, so sure. And then Dieter Eisland and Armand Watts, you probably let walk. Although I wouldn't be mad if they kept Watts, at least as like a training camp body, because Watts wasn't horrible this year, and that's saying a lot given how bad.
I mean, he'd be good to just keep around anyways, because
Yeah.
I'm sorry, just drafting Jalen Carter and then ending up also with Daron Payne, that's not going to solve it.
Oh no.
They're interior defensive linemen. You really do got to do what the Eagles did. You got to just
stack up.
You got to just rotate it. So
yeah. Armand
Watts can like be on an NFL field without you going, "Oh, we're fucked." So keep him.
And that logic too. Actually, never mind. He's 32. I was going to say Mike Pinnell as well because he wasn't bad, but he's 32.
Age, yeah.
I'm not giving him money.
Nope.
But the two I skipped over, David Montgomery and Kari Blasingame. Unironically, Kari Blasingame is my number one priority for who I want Chicago to retain. I am not joking when I say that. Out of all of our free agents, he was the most impactful this season. He's at a position where he's not going to be super expensive. Obviously, he's a fullback. He was making like 1.2 mil this year. The average for fullbacks is like, I want to say 3.8.
Yeah, because CJ is
roughly
making 4. He's just above average, and that's the problem.
Yeah. And Kari's great, but he's not going to sign for near that. Kari's going to be like a $2 million extension at max. So you pay him. You have no reason to not pay him.
What if we just swap in free agency? You guys pick up CJ, we go pick up Kari.
No, because Kari follows me on Twitter. CJ doesn't. I want Kari.
Ah.
I don't care who's better. I want the guy that follows me on Twitter.
Valid. His father also DM'd you once, so.
Yeah, his father follows me on Twitter as well. I got the links to the Blasting Game family. I can't let him go. He needs to be a Bear next year. And then Monty, obviously, is kind of the big, not so much debate, but question mark.
You let him walk.
I don't know. I'm still conflicted.
All depends on the money.
It does.
Right, that's exactly. It all depends on the money.
Monty's not going to ask for little enough that I'd be okay paying him. You can
Yes,
easily
no,
replace Monty with a rookie who makes
if he asks,
$1 million.
I don't know, maybe I'm too attached to him, but if he asks for under 10, I'm keeping him.
No.
Under double digits, I would sign Montgomery for sure.
Yep.
I would say so.
No, after watching it happen, even with how young Dalvin Cook was when he got his second contract, you're not paying running backs unless they're Adrian Peterson. That is it. Or I guess the only guy in the league right now that falls under that bill is Derrick Henry. That's the only guy in this league I'm paying at running back.
Josh Jacobs?
Nope. He was bad for 4 years and then has one good year. And now everybody, he's one of the best in the league. No, he had one good year. I'm not spending money on one good year. I'm not. Not out of a running back. That happens too often.
Logic could be applied, I suppose, to Jonathan Taylor, who was only had one good year.
Right. Yeah.
So
I'm not paying him either. Not yet. Not at all. He hasn't proved
Taylor,
it.
No.
I wouldn't pay him at all. When he's done, let him walk.
I think I would pay Saquon.
I
know the injury. I know the injury history is
That's
rough,
what
but
scares
I would
me.
definitely pay Saquon.
If I was the Bears, I'd pay
injury,
Saquon before I paid Monty.
Yeah, but I don't think he's going to hit the open market.
Probably not.
Yeah, I mean, if you're given the choice, I'm taking Saquon every day of the week
right?
and twice on Sunday.
Well, if we're under 10, we could keep market. Monty, but it's like, fuck it. Under 20, I want Saquon.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, no,
but that's the issue. With Saquon, it would have to be a high average value, but a low guarantee.
Oh, yeah.
That's how it would have to be. Like, at most, you're going to be worth up to 20 mil if you can actually stay on the field. And you don't even set it as like a numbers goal. It is straight up like a snaps or a games goal, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like, if you play in 17, you're getting the full 20 million this year. Nobody says shit. But if you don't, then you're not.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm still conflicted. Like I said, it's hard for me to not be biased with Monty. I just love him so
That's
much.
fair. I get it.
It's hard. It's hard to separate.
Dude,
like, I'll put it
do you
this
know
way.
how hard this offseason's going to be for me?
Oh, I
you
can't
have
imagine.
one guy. It is my
Yeah.
entire team.
Yeah.
The entire group that I've rallied behind for 10 years. I have to watch all of them go.
Yeah. Yeah, like, I'll put it this way. I see both sides of it. I see why you want to keep him, but I also get the paying running back bad, draft running back in the 6th round and run with him,
It works!
Like,
every time!
I get it. I don't know.
I don't know how it
we'll
happens.
see how it goes. But outside of that, like, looking at some of these other free agents, I already mentioned Edmonds or Edwards would be awesome because we need the linebacker help. Love Sanborn, but not only is he not proven enough for me to say, okay, he's solidified starter going forward long term. I mean, I think he's close to it, but I'm not ready to say that yet. But the big thing is the trenches. Both sides of the ball. You have to address the trenches. Like I said, Deron Payne's my number one guy. You look at, I know Geek mentioned Sayamalu already. I'd love him in Chicago. Caleb McGarry coming out of Atlanta. God, I'm blanking on some of these defensive tackles. Let's look here.
Also,
Yannick Ngakoue would be sick. He would be a perfect fit for us.
Yeah. I also forgot to mention earlier the two big keys for the Vikings this offseason. I don't know why this just made me remember. You literally give Justin Jefferson a bank. That's it. You just a bank. Just give him the whole thing. And then you obviously, I noticed this the other day, and it's weird. You got to go sign the mascot, too. Get that extension done.
What?
Have you not? Go look at TJ Hawkinson and look at the Vikings logo.
Oh,
You gotta give the mascot the extension.
I
He
thought you meant
is
the literal
Minnesota
mascot.
Viking.
No, you're right. You're right.
Yeah,
I just thought you
the
literally
hair,
meant the mascot.
the goatee, like it's too perfect. Gotta keep him.
Yeah.
Also, they're both under 25. Like that's the future. It's Hawk and it's Jefferson.
Yeah.
So, sorry, that was important.
No, you're good. Some of these other defensive linemen I'm looking at, a guy like Draymond Jones would be cool if he hits the open market.
God, I feel so bad for the Bears, though.
Why?
This is such a weak free agency class to have that much money.
Yeah.
Well, imagine they had this much money last year. Oh my God.
The thing is, the defensive line group is deep.
Yes.
And that's what I'm the most worried about. And then the linebackers, you have high-end value, and you'll be able to pay one of those guys. Which
do you want
people
Dalvin?
are going to cry about that. They're going to be so pissy about that when the Bears pay a linebacker, and they're like, "Why didn't they just pay Roquan Smith?" Because Roquan Smith didn't want to fucking be in Chicago. Don't let him convince you otherwise. He had no interest in being a Chicago Bear going forward. It's ridiculous.
What are we doing?
What? Jake?
Yeah. What are we doing?
It's Drew Lock.
We get it. You want the Packers to sign him to prove you wrong. He'll be the worst quarterback in football. The Packers will be so bad that they actually lose the rights to having an NFL team. And yeah, the Packers actually just get disenfranchised, and the new team in the NFC North is the Toronto Maple Dogs.
Nah, the London Silly Nannies.
Nah, I like the Toronto Maple Dogs.
Another name that I'd really like in Chicago is Ogbanya Okoronkwo. I butchered his fucking name. The dude from the Texans, the edge rusher. He's a really, really nice rotational guy. And I think he'd fit in Chicago well.
Yeah. So it's worth asking because there's a world where Daron Payne stays in Washington and never hits the open market.
Mm-hmm.
Who's your backup plan? Is it Hargrave or is it Dalvin Tomlinson?
I'd go Hargrave, personally.
He's older.
He's
and
older.
Statistically worse.
Really?
I don't know. I just think he's worse.
Yeah.
But
I'm sleeping
I
on
see
Tomlinson a little bit. How is he as a pass rusher? I'm not super...
He doesn't rush the passer. We play a 3-4, not a 4-3. He used to be a 4. Well, he used to be a 4-3 DT, and that's the problem with Minnesota's defense this year. No player on our team was built to be in a 3-4, but we switched, and that's why we have to let everybody go. So no, I don't hate it.
4-3 will always be superior.
No.
I think it is. I'm incredibly biased because that's traditionally what the Bears always run. But
nope.
Yes.
Nope.
Point being,
give me 0 linebackers. I just want 4 down linemen and 7 defensive backs.
Why are you the way that you are?
It would be better.
It's disgusting. Okay, so what happens when the Titans go, hey, here's Derrick Henry?
Well, see, then what you do is you still say fuck the linebackers, and you just run
a run rushing yards?
No, you run a 7-4 against them. They don't have any receivers. So you just get 7 down linemen and 4 DBs. The fuck is that noise? That was...
I think that's the internet trying to tell you to shut the hell up.
It might be.
Goofy.
That was pretty bad. But no, that's the real best defense. I promise it would work.
Yeah, but anyways, I would at this very moment I would prefer Hargrave. I'd have to look into Tomlinson a little bit more, but I want a DT that can rush the passer.
The snap's
cool.
The snap. And
cool.
The Infinity Gauntlet.
But I want a DT that can rush the passer. That's such a big thing in today's game, and Payne improved tremendously as a pass rusher this season. On top of being a pretty damn good run defender as well. He would just fit in Chicago so well.
So...
Truthfully speaking, if I had to pick like an ideal backup to Payne, I'm probably calling the Colts about the Forrest Buckner in a trade down to 4.
Yeah.
I'd rather
Could
do
happen.
that.
Could happen.
Because, I mean, that's Fluce's guy. He's, 29? Can afford his contract.
So what if
He's
that's
an
how the
X-Factor
Colts
in
did it?
Madden.
What?
What if the Colts called you for the number 1 overall pick, said we'll give you 4 DeForest and Pittman. That's it.
I'm not taking that. I need more picks.
Why? You want picks
the
on
Colts-
some maybes?
The Colts
Look
would
at the
have
way
to,
the Bears
be
draft.
absolutely in love with Bryce Young if they were going to do that, because they're going to get one of the top 4 guys. And honestly,
Well, I don't know if you saw Irsay's press conference today, but he seems pretty enamored with Bryce Young.
Yeah.
that, and I don't know, I think Anthony Richardson and a Shane Steichen offense would be dope, but I don't think it'll happen.
I'm not trading down if I'm not getting picks back.
I don't know. I'd rather have proven players, especially when they're not old. I'm sorry. The odds that any of the draft picks you get from the Colts, even if you get 5 first-rounders, the odds of any of them being better than Pittman and Buckner are basically 0.
Sure.
That's
I
how
wouldn't go
football
that
works.
far.
No, that is how that
Yeah.
works. The odds of any of them turning into players as good as Buckner and Pittman are basically 0.
You don't think
There's
like,
a
JSN would turn out to be better than
0% chance of
I said
anyone turning
basically
into
0.
Right.
Jack
So there's a
Smith and
0% chance that
Jigba.
any receiver we could possibly draft would not be better than an average wide receiver 1.
There is a chance that, okay, look back at every draft. Yes, there's one receiver that'll hit in the first round, and then every other good receiver is in the 6th round, because that's how this works. Just because you're a first-round talent doesn't mean you're any good.
Oh,
You should
that's
know
fair.
that. Everybody the Bears have drafted except like Fields has sucked for 10 years. You should get this.
Okay, but that was also under a different GM.
But
who
that's
viewed
not
things
the,
completely
But that's with
differently.
every GM. There are very few teams who are actually good at drafting because it's impossible to be good at drafting.
Sure.
I don't know. It doesn't help that I'm not super high on Pittman.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
I also dislike Pittman and would say no to that deal just because it's Pittman. But
Yes.
okay, what if
Asshole,
it
you're trying
was?
to make me feel bad.
So
for
who's the left guard? Who's your left guard? Because you have Tevin at right guard.
white
Oh,
hair.
yeah. You could trade him too. What if it was Buckner and Q?
How old's Q?
26.
Oh, I'd take that.
He's still on his
Hey.
rookie deal.
Really?
I think so.
He
There's
didn't
no,
have that great of a
there's no
season,
shot because he was the same year as Roquan.
He's
Wasn't he a
26.
first rounder though?
Yeah, but there's no shot he's still on his rookie deal.
He's 100% on his
Yeah.
rookie deal.
He hasn't gotten extended yet?
I guess. I don't think so.
No.
Because this was his
He's not
5th
from
year.
alignment, man.
So, and he was
Yeah.
the 4th overall pick, so they just picked up his 5th-year option.
Holy
Yeah.
shit, I'm bad with time.
I'm gonna double check that because he's not, I guess, a free agent. So, oh no, he
Right.
did sign a 4-year, $80 million deal.
Yeah, I would not do
I
that.
figured
if I
that.
were the Bears. Yeah.
Which, I mean,
It's worth it for
again,
Q.
what are the odds you're gonna find another just
Right,
offensive
n-
lineman
that
at
I
Q's
agree
level?
with.
Well,
That
even
I
with
can get
DeForest
behind.
Buckner, I mean,
And Buckner I can get behind too. Buckner's a
yeah,
really fucking good
Pittman
three-tech.
was the.
Pittman was the hang-up. That
Yeah,
was
fair.
my thing.
But
Guys,
if
I'm
it's,
just not
it's,
super high
it's
on
Q,
Pittman.
Buckner, and 4. That makes it tougher because
It does make it tougher. Because those are two
Yeah.
players that I actually respect.
right, yeah, that's fair.
Fair.
I will say I shouldn't talk too much shit on Pittman because he would be wide receiver 1 in Chicago, but
Yeah,
it
but
wouldn't
that
be by a
doesn't
huge
mean.
margin.
Actually, would he? I'm sorry, I'm very low on Pittman. What does he do? He's a mid route runner. He's supposed to be a big
Yeah.
body jump ball guy, but he can't do that because his hands suck. He's slow.
Yeah.
He's not
Oh my
good
God,
at
you're
running
right.
routes. I
mean,
don't
hey.
like Pittman.
Yeah.
Like, as much as I talk shit on Mooney, I'd take him. At least
Yeah.
he has some like
We're talking
actual
about
useful skills.
We're talking about the Colts
Mooney's
a lot,
got some
fellas.
juice.
We're about the Colts a lot, aren't we?
You know,
You know, we could just, something
Wrap
else
it.
happened with the Colts today.
yeah, or we
We
could
could
just
wrap-
wrap it because we're over 2 hours.
Yeah, we should wrap it. 'Cause I
Somehow
have
we're
things to
missing
do.
the coaching thing every week.
We'll just dedicate a whole episode next week to coaching.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you want to just talk
honestly,
about coaching all next week? Because
the
I got lots to
coaching-
say about my boy.
The coaching, the coaching segment will just be what the Super Bowl segment was this time. It's like the main thing that we talk about.
There you go.
That's
Perfect.
valid.
You good? All right.
Because
got stuff I gotta
I got a long conversation about my guy next week. Yeah.
I just want to say real quick,
Yeah.
Go for
since we were talking about the Bears, Justin Fields just said on Pardon My Take, so he was going to be a Bear. Said he thought he was going to be a Falcon, a Panther, or a Bronco.
Wow.
However, he said, I ended up in Chicago, and I love the city of Chicago and everything it brings. I want to be a Bear for life.
Unfortunately, he sucks because they didn't use him in Madden. So
Dude, oh my god, I've never been more angry at the Bears fan base than I was over that tweet. Dumbest shit in
Wait,
the world.
what?
Did I tell you about that?
No, I
he
got
played
those.
against Jamar Chase in Madden, and he used the Bills, and Bears fans were
Yeah.
like, "How could he?"
They were like, this is a sign he's not here next year. He hates his team. He doesn't care. Like, no, the Bears just fucking suck in Madden.
No, it's because it's Madden. It already doesn't matter. It's not about being good at football, but you really don't want to be stuck with the Bears.
You don't want to be stuck with a team that doesn't have abilities if you're playing a Regs game. And the Bears have
Right.
literally no one with abilities. Whereas the Bills got Josh Allen with bazooka, and you can just hawk up 90-yard touchdowns to Diggs every play. Like, who wouldn't pick that?
Why do you think even though I have Teddy Bridgewater in our league, we're still competitive in every game? It's because Jettas, Hill, and fucking Hawk are just unstoppable.
Yeah.
Actually,
Sure.
Adam Thielen, now that he's like option number 5, killing it. He's working against linebackers
And
and
I'm
corner
just like-
sixes. It's great.
I'd just like to say, too, another thing that I feel like a lot of people overlooked with that, Fields is a very humble dude. And I feel
Yes.
like he just wouldn't want to play as himself in a video game. I feel like that's not his style.
Valid.
No.
He should have
Like-
played as Lamar.
Yeah.
That would have been funny.
I want to be me with abilities, so I'm just going to play as Lamar.
Right?
Yeah.
Really, though?
It's
Because you could
true.
even argue that maybe Andrews is just Komet with abilities. Maybe. The receiving core sucks, so that's all he
True.
got. It's pretty similar
Also,
there.
Fields needs, putting this out there now, Fields needs to have abilities in that next year.
He probably will.
You should
I
have
just
He
hope
needs
they're
to have
not
rushing
stupid.
abilities.
Yeah.
They're going to be rushing abilities. He's going to
I
get,
will
like...
never understand, though, why...
He'll probably get like first one free. Or
No, I
No,
don't think we'll get
it's
next
got to
factor.
be
He'll
a
get
escape
superstar.
artist, and I don't know why that's not Lamar's. I don't understand
Because
Truz.
Truz.
Because all... Yeah, except it
Truz,
doesn't
whoop,
fucking
whoop.
do anything.
It makes it so he can't fumble. at
Except
all
he
once
does
he's
every
activated.
time anyways because of the way Madden works. If you don't mess with the sliders, even when his X Factor is activated, you hit him, he fumbles every time. That's
Oh,
how
no, the
that
game's
works.
broken.
Did
Yeah.
you watch
End of
the
the day,
video
game's
I put
broken.
out yelling
I haven't
about it?
gotten a chance to.
Ah, this guy.
I'm meaning to. I've just been really busy with school.
Yeah.
But
okay,
yeah, I mean,
yeah,
he'll have superstar abilities next year. He'll get the one that's like a quarterback inputs are quicker on designed runs. I forget what it's
his
called.
main ability's got to be escape artist, though.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, but they made that an X factor, and I can't imagine they give Fields an X factor.
Not yet. No.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's true.
Once he hits that point, though, absolutely he'll have escape artist. Not a doubt in my mind. They're gonna turn Fields into fucking
all right.
Vic and Madden here soon. That's gonna be sick.
No,
Yeah.
Lamar already is that.
Yeah, and Fields is gonna become it,
Well, no.
but with a cannon arm as well.
Well, no. Okay, we got to... Jake, take over. Wrap it up.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of the Run the North podcast. We are Run the North on all socials. Be sure to go follow us: Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, every social platform. I mean, we're gonna have a poll on our next tweet if we should replace David with the Whopper song. And
Valid.
if we get enough yes votes, then next week instead of hearing David talk about the Bears, you'll hear the BK guy sing about the Whopper. So
I know Twitter user JPowNFL will be voting for the Whopper song.
For sure.
Fortunately, yes, it will be.
For sure.
But yeah, that's about all we got for you guys. Thank you guys so much again for listening, and we will see you next week.